Would you give up the chance to play for your country to become a global star of your sport and earn big money doing it? Well, that's the choice facing rugby players right now because of the proposed new R360 League. Led by 2003 World Cup winner Mike Tindall, it's already being backed by major investors. Its goal? Turn rugby union into franchises, not clubs, add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, rugby union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything...
Sorry, good evening. I'm so into the game at St James's Park that I can't catch my breath. Welcome to the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, alongside the experienced gaffer, Alan Pardew. And right now we're watching two of his former sides playing at St James's Park in a crucial game for West Ham. The score is currently 2-0 to Newcastle. A disaster for West Ham, delight for Spurs. In the early kickoff, it was an action-packed game at Old Trafford with VAR and Bruno Fernandes in the spotlight again. United will now finish third, and there's a lot of talk about should Michael Carrick be a contender for Manager of the Year. 03717 223344. Come and let us know your views. Elsewhere in the Premier League, the 3 p.m. games were centred around Europe. It was a good day for Bournemouth without even playing, as Brighton, Brentford and Everton all slipped up. Remember, we are now live on YouTube and also on your smart TV, including LG devices, Fire TV, Apple TV and Google TV. You can watch us in glorious 4K. But right now, we're the only place taking your calls, so pick up the phone, 03717 223344, to air your views to the nation on the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT. How are we doing, Pards?
I'm okay, I've got no pain. The only pain I got is watching West Ham.
Well, yeah, currently 2-0 at St James's Park. The West Ham fans don't look happy, do they, Pards?
Well, they're entitled not to be happy. You know, he started with a back three. I mean, when I was Newcastle manager, if some team comes there and sets up as a back five, you're like, right, our two fullbacks can bomb right on today and cause havoc, which they have done. They've had 60% of possession, just dominated the game. West Ham have come back into it after the substitution at 24 minutes. Took a centre-back off, Tadibo, who was terrible, by the way. Castellanos has come off and made a big difference already. So, you know, just that ambition, that kind of going there with a real belief. Unfortunately, they didn't go with that setup and find themselves 2-0 down. Changed to that setup and doing a little bit better.
How difficult is it going to be for West Ham to get back into this game?
Well, the one thing they're going to have to do, they've obviously gone 4-4-2, is keep the discipline. Because if they start wandering, Somerville or Bowen starts wandering, you know, to try and make something happen, that's when Newcastle is just going to pick them off. When you're 2-0 up, that's what, you know, when you're at home at Newcastle, that's more, in my memory, that's how we won so many games, when teams just got a little bit trying to force the issue. We just steamed them away.
Yeah, you can see that Newcastle, this is why Spurs have gone there before and lost 5-0, 4-0. Sometimes Newcastle do give people a spanking at home, don't they?
They can do, you know, and in particular, as I say, when you get a fast start and that crowd are really positive. And it's not kind of, you know, you get sometimes if you get to sort of 35, 40 minutes, the crowd start getting a little bit impatient and that it seeps into the team. And then you got a difficult afternoon. When you got 2 goals, everybody's at me and going getting pies and beers and all sorts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If the score stays the same, Pards, Spurs just need to avoid a defeat on Tuesday at Stamford Bridge. What do you make of that?
Well, it's an interesting game because, you know, when I looked at Spurs against Leeds, I wasn't that impressed. I thought, wow, can't see them winning another game. Chelsea, you know, the new manager's in situ now, but probably will be sitting in the stand, I'm wondering. Would that give the team a boost if they wheeled him out there? Just got him sitting in the director's box is a possibility. He isn't taking the game. I think all Chelsea fans are looking for a reaction. I didn't think they were bad yesterday, but, you know, it's another defeat in the final and didn't really create enough moments for me if I was a Chelsea fan. So I think there was a little group of them be going there, you know, not so much moaning about the ownership of the team this week or the manager, because obviously he's going to be brand new. I mean, the players might get a little bit, so they need to be on their toes.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, let's go and get the views from Steve Harmison, who's at St James's Park for us. Hello, Steve.
How are we? I mean, it's woeful for West Ham. I mean, it's Newcastle 2, West Ham 0. There's 37 minutes on the clock. And everything you've said there, Alan Pardew, talking about the changes that West Ham have made. Newcastle have countered that by, you know, flooding that midfield area. Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes are getting loads and loads of space. Ramsey's coming in from wide areas. So they've got 4 with Barnes as well. There's like four or five men with Woltemade in that midfield. And what they've just done is just a dangerous corners come in and Mavropanos has headed out. Lewis Hall and Jacob Ramsey are pushing Jared Bowen back. So you've made the change, Nuno. You want 2 centre forwards up the pitch, but your best asset and your biggest assist maker in Jared Bowen is having to chase Lewis Hall back. So it's counterproductive of the way, you know, West Ham are at this moment in time. Newcastle are on the ascendancy. West Ham are in a desperate position at this moment in time. They desperately need half time. You know, they've got 7 minutes till half time for Nuno Espirito Santos to try and grab something in the second half, because at this minute in time, West Ham are going down with a whimper. Newcastle 2, West Ham 0.
Thank you very much, Steve Harmison. St James's Park for us as Newcastle currently lead 2-0 against West Ham United, who really need something from this game, Pards, because final game of the season at the London Stadium, you know, they don't want to be in a position where they're already pretty much down, do they?
No, you know, you want to keep that fight going as long as you can. And this is always a tricky fixture, but I mean, it's really unfolded poorly for them because the setup just didn't help them. And as Steve Harmison is saying there, you know, now you're a 4-4-2, that extra midfield player Newcastle play with, where the number 10 drops in. West Ham's number 10 isn't really dropping in. They're staying up the top of the pitch, so it's making it difficult. But they definitely, you know, need a goal. So they are taking risks. This next goal is going to be so important.
We're going to keep you informed of that, of course, as the goals go in at St James's Park. But we're going to have a look back at some of the other games earlier on. Let's start with Manchester United Pards, Man United 3, Forest 2. Final word listener Jill must be very happy.
Yep.
A 5-minute VAR check for United's second goal. Was it handball?
Yep.
Yeah.
All day.
5 minutes.
I know. And then he went over to, we moan about the referee not, sticking with their decision. He stuck with his decision and it was completely wrong twice. He did it the first time and then went over and looked at the monitor and said, still not handball, even though you could see it was clearly handball. So that was a strange one. No, sorry, it's good account of themselves though, but United again, another win for Michael on the back of what looks like a 2-year deal on the table, and all he's got to do is sign it, which is lovely for him, and he's earned that right. I mean, they were nowhere when he took over, and I don't see why a big name manager should come in there at the moment. He's doing the job. He knows he's carried himself very, very well, and another win.
Absolutely.
Champions League football.
And 20th assist of the season for Bruno.
Yeah. Shouldn't ignore that. Sorry, I missed that because you're quite right. Equaling Thierry Henry's record.
Good company, eh?
Yeah, not bad.
Which brings us further to
De Bruyne
the point.
as well. I think De Bruyne had 22.
But it brings us further to the point of Amrim, where he was trying to play Bruno Fernandes. It's just madness.
It was just bizarre. And no Manu, of course, and Casemiro, both on the bench for a lot of games.
Yeah. When it was quite clear that you could have Casemiro and Manu together. One does one job, the other does the other.
And McTominay, who's still out in Naples, nicking a goal here and there and looks, a very established midfield player. You'd like to think he might still be about if Michael Carrick was manager.
What, to bring him home?
No, I'm saying if it wasn't Matt.
I don't think they would have sold him. Yeah, absolutely.
No.
But I think that was a Ten Hag one, wasn't it?
Was it just before? Okay.
But again, there's been some strange decisions from United managers in recent times, whereas Michael Carrick's gone in there with the DNA of Manchester United, it feels like, identified the right players in the right positions, and has been brilliant this season. Like you said, Sunday the 17th of May, who would have thought we'd be sitting here talking about Bruno getting his 20th assist of the season, Man United with Champions League football, and Michael Carrick potentially being the manager.
If you thought of it as like he took over a vessel that was, in choppy waters, looking like it was letting in water left, right and centre. And actually, it's just been smooth sailing for Michael, hasn't it?
Yeah.
He's had one or two moments only. The rest of it, they've just, backed up the wins, got the performances, crowd are on his side. Okay, he's got a few of his ex-players to get over the line in terms of backing him. Because it's not easy to have former greats, not really rubber stamping your tenure. So, he's still got a little bit of work to do, I think, on that front. But it looks like in the dressing room, he's done the job.
Well, let's now go to Wembley as the FA Trophy final has finished between Southend and Wealdstone. And here's talkSPORT's Ian Abrams to tell us who might be walking up those famous stairs victorious. Moose?
I think you're just a little bit ahead of time. We've got 6 minutes to go. It's still Wealdstone 0, Southend 0, but Wealdstone have just missed a golden opportunity. A corner played in, the goalkeeper all over the shop. The ball headed against him and then fell out to Jorginho, the left back, and he fired over from 15 yards out. Wealdstone actually been the better side in the second half, and Pierce watching and trying to encourage them on. Maybe in the last 5 or 6 minutes they can find the winner. We've had non-league finals day here. The FA Vars finished 0-0. Stoneham winning 4-2 on penalties. At the moment, it looks like the FA Trophy might finish 0-0 and also go to penalties. 5.5 minutes left. Southend 0, Wealdstone 0.
Brilliant stuff. Coming up next, we'll be heading to St James's Park as Nuno has to give the half-time rallying call of his life as the game reaches half-time. And we want to hear your views on a huge day of football in the Premier League. Handball controversy at Old Trafford. Bruno with another assist, but in the dugout. Does Michael Carrick deserve to be in the conversation of manager of the year? 03717 22 344. And we want to know who you believe should be manager of the year. Call us right now to air your views to the nation on the final word on talkSPORT.
as we alluded to yesterday, Southampton are likely to face a sporting sanction if they're found guilty of spying charges. As a result, they could end up being thrown out of the playoff final to be replaced in that final by Middlesbrough instead, the team that they put out last night at the semi-final second leg stage. We said we'd look into this more thoroughly from a financial, legal expert point of view, and the very man who fits that bill is sitting to my right. Stefan Borsten joins us live in studio. And Stefan, good morning to you.
Hi.
We'll get into how this may or may not play out in the courts. Is there a precedent, Stefan, for chucking a team out of the playoffs?
Well, it happened to Swindon, but it was different. Well, not in terms of the playoffs, but in terms of sort of annulling the promotion. But it was a different situation. I mean, there's no situation where you've had it all come to a head within this small window around the playoffs. In terms of spying / espionage, there's really very few cases anywhere in football in respect of this. So you've got the Leeds situation that we know about, where it was systematic. They ended up with a £200,000 fine. And effectively, the other part of the sanction was to vote in favour of the rule that then came in. This rule that we're now talking about in terms of the 72-hour rule. That was part of the agreement on that. So that brought the rule in. The only other case is actually from the from the Olympics with Canada's women's team. And FIFA in 2024 docked them 6 points.
Good evening, you're listening to the Final Word Phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, alongside both ex-Newcastle and West Ham gaffer, Alan Pardew. Well, he's got his West Ham colours on today. So I've gone black and white with a tsunami with my bottoms.
Well, yeah.
But I'm definitely rooting for Newcastle today, unfortunately, West Ham fans, as a Spurs fan. And it's currently Newcastle 2, West Ham 0 at St James's Park, and we'll go in there in a moment for half-time. But there's across all the leagues today, and even in grassroots football parts, there's finals galore. There's finals at Wembley today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my localish team, the Cockfosters, they lost on pens earlier today.
Okay.
You got Wildstone currently, as the Moose said, playing at the moment.
Southend, yeah.
Yeah, still 0-0.
Yeah.
And then in the grassroots football, I've had a final myself this morning, Pass.
Did you win?
My son's team that he plays for, Wormley, under 9s, they went and won, mate.
Wow, nice one.
9 o'clock kickoff, very early.
9 o'clock kickoff?
9 o'clock, 8:15 meet, mate.
Why? What's all that about?
And on a Sunday.
Why do they do it? Why do they do that?
Because they've got so many games to get through. It's all
I see. So there's another game at 11 or something like that.
There was loads of games, loads of pitches. It's the Mid-Hearts League.
Right.
So there's loads of different games. But yeah, I want to say a massive congratulations to Ryan Wade, who's the gaffer, who I help. But he's the gaffer. And to the lads for winning today. Really good game.
I know, and we'll take our hats off to all those who have won their leagues and cups, respectively, across the country.
And those are runners-up as well. It got to finals. Well done as well, because to get to a final of anything is very difficult.
Absolutely.
So if you would like to shout out to your grassroots heroes today,
yes,
we're going to do some grassroots love today. 03 717 22 3344. So well done to the Wormley boys, and big shout out to my son Leo. But now it is a very busy show with live sport taking place up and down the country, France, US. So before we head to St James's Park, let's first get the latest from the PGA Championship from talkSPORT's Gabby Partington.
PGA Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
Yes, the final round's kicked off for some time, but the leaders aren't in action for another hour or so. But excitement is certainly building by the minute. Harris English was raring to go and is the best of the bunch out there right now. Back-to-back birdies on 2 and 3 sends the American into the top 10 alongside Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele, who get underway in about 45 minutes' time. currently warming up on the range as we speak. A shot further back sits Matt Fitzpatrick, who just missed an eagle opportunity to go 6 under for the day, but settles for the birdie instead. Justin Rose, moments away from teeing off, also part of that big group at 2 under par. Justin Thomas, another player enjoying himself right now. After a bogey on 3, he's picked up 3 birdies, but still with the tougher back 9 to come. So many within touching distance, but Alex Smalley's still the man to catch, 2 shots clear of the chasing pack.
And there's a huge winner-takes-all Women's Six Nation as France take on England. And here's Alfie Reynolds with the latest.
Scoreline: France 21, England 36. England 9 minutes away from another Women's Six Nations title. Jess Breach has scored her second try of the match to increase the breathing room for England. France in this second half, they had scored by Grando and Bourdon Sansus to reduce that deficit, but the Breach try crucial for England. Also, we've just seen one of the French players, Alexandra Chambon, yellow carded as well. At the moment, with under 10 minutes to go, it's France 21, England 36.
And finally, the half-time whistle has gone at St James's Park as Newcastle host West Ham in a crucial Premier League match. Let's find out what happened from talkSPORT Steve Harmison.
Yeah, Newcastle 2, West Ham 0. 45 minutes to forget for West Ham in a must-win game to stay in the Premier League. This started like the team with nothing to play for. Newcastle took the lead on 15 minutes through Nick Waldemar. Hamadison, misplaced pass, found Harvey Barnes in the wide area. He drove into the box, and a side foot cross was finished well with a volley from the big German. 1-0 Newcastle, and didn't really look in trouble from there. 4 minutes later, they made it 2-0. It was a good team goal, worked from the back all the way through midfield, which found Ramsey with his head up, slipped in William Osula, and a nice touch out of his feet with the left foot and slid the ball underneath Hamadison. Nuno took off a defender in Todibo, brought on Castellanos. 25 minutes to go, much better in that period of time, but no real chances of note. There was a VAR handball early in this game, which nobody really talking about, because largely down to how poor West Ham have been. It's a big 45 minutes to stay in the Premier League, and it's a big 10 minutes for Nuno to get that rallying call, because West Ham can't be any poorer than what they were in the first half. It's at Newcastle 2, West Ham 0.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the game at St James's Park. Listen, I've got a gaffer who's done it in both dugouts there. Listen, to come back at St James's Park is a very difficult task.
Yeah, but it can be done.
It can be done?
Yeah, I was at a game, their last game of the season, actually. I think it was 3-0 up against West Brom. They come back and got 3-all. Lukaku got a hat-trick. So it's possible. But, you know, looking at, well, I mean, the 2 goals are gifts.
But West Ham have to win this. Do you see them scoring 3 goals?
No, I don't. I don't know at the moment.
Get up there!
But I have to say, the 2 goals are gifts, both of them. Terrible errors by the goalie. Souček makes an error as well on the first goal. He should track the goal scorer. Todibo just sells himself. The second goal, the centre, they've got 3 centre-backs. They're all dislodged. It's just one pass through the middle. They're really awful goals. But they have shown, as Steve pointed out, just that last 20 minutes, a little bit more of a threat going forward. If they can nick a goal at the start of the second half, maybe. But it's not looking good for Hammers fans. It really isn't.
Well, let's quickly, before we have a short pause, go to Jordan, who's a Man United fan. Let's see what he thinks about Michael Carrick. How are you, Jordan?
Hi, lads. How's it going?
Yeah, very well. Another good result for you at Old Trafford today. Michael Carrick, possible manager of the year for you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's done unbelievably since he's come into us, and I mean, no disrespect to him for this, but he's not manager of the year this season. There is so many more different candidates that have been out there, like Iraola at Bournemouth, I think has been spectacular. I think Keith Andrews at Brentford, again, another one. I don't get me wrong, he might be in the question, but just for me as a United fan, he hasn't done anything special. Don't get me wrong, what he's done, he's got us from playing awful football to very, very good football and got us up and got us third place to secure us Champions League for next season. We didn't expect that with Amorim. So yes, very good, but the other managers that have been out there this season, the teams they've had, I think Iraola's probably my favourite, because you get rid of your best striker like Semenyo and you go and sign a couple of other players and you've gone unbeaten for 17 games.
And don't forget, they sold most of their backline, didn't they, in the summer?
Exactly, they sold Milos Kerkez to Bournemouth, they sold Dean Huijsen to Real Madrid. He's the manager I think really deserves to get Manager of the Year this season. Regardless, they haven't won anything. What he's done for that club is just unbelievable.
Well, I endorse that because I'm looking at the points totals. It looks like, even without paying, they've got 2 games to go. 1 point might be enough for them out of those 2 games. They've got 2 tricky games, by the way. But I still think, looking at it, no one's going to catch them. So 6th place for Bournemouth will be absolutely outstanding, exactly with the points that you raised.
Absolutely. Great call. Thank you very much, Jordan. We're going to be asking you about possible managers of the season shouts this year, apart from obviously an Arteta or a Pep, like people outside of those two. Surely Unai Emery should be in with a shout there, especially with...
what a huge game Wednesday that's going to be, isn't it, for Aston Villa? You got to say that they're favourites, particularly with a manager who's won it 4 times. Is this going to be his 5th time, I think?
He pretty much owns that trophy.
So, what a fantastic... And they've had some great performances. We've talked about this year of the Premier League. Some of the football has been dire, and we've watched, gamemanship and long throws and stop-start games, etc., etc. Villa have been a joy to watch at times. I mean, when they're in full flow, I think they're one of the most entertaining teams.
Yeah. Keep those calls coming into us, 03717223344. Got loads of messages already about grassroots teams who've had finals today. Don't forget, if you've had some form of final or end of league game and you want to shout out to your son, daughter,
your little world,
whoever it is,
whoever it is, part of this great kingdom that we have,
then please do let us know, because I've already shouted out my son and the Wormley under-9 Reds. Up the Worms. You're listening to the final one of talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. It all starts with a spin. 18 plus, gamblingaway.org.
You've got Madonna, Shakira and BTS are going to headline the halftime show at this summer's World Cup final on July the 19th. The halftime show during last summer's Club World Cup in the United States between Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain lasted more than 24 minutes. This is going to be the first time that there has been a halftime show at a World Cup final. I've got a terrible feeling that you're going to tell me you have no problem with this.
No, I haven't got an issue with it.
Oh, God.
But then I'm used to... Listen, I love American sports. People know that. I love American sports. I love the Super Bowl halftime show. Of course, it's not going to be for everyone, and I get that. I've got no issue with that at all. But what they're going to have to do is make sure that they've got plenty of bikes in the dressing rooms, the warm-up areas to keep the legs moving, because I've been to halftime, 24 minutes, that is long. Especially when the intensity of the game, then you go in and you cool down a little bit, and then you talk about 24 minutes, 25 minutes before you get yourself back out there. They have to keep
Aaron, when you say that you love American sports and you therefore don't mind the intrusion of a halftime show, I kind of get it. I went to a Super Bowl. Snoop Dogg was there.
That was unbelievable, that one.
Yeah, and that was great because it was a Super Bowl. But I wouldn't necessarily want that at an FA Cup final. I think when you buy into the American experience, you get the American experience. Why are we getting the American experience in a game that doesn't necessarily need one?
Probably because it's in America. I think if it was elsewhere, it probably wouldn't be. That wouldn't be the case because it's in America.
Although we started to get it in Champions League finals, haven't we? We've had Dua Lipa at a Champions League final.
Yeah, you know, I get it. It's not for everyone, and I've got no argument. If people come on here and say, "Nah, it's rubbish. I hate it." Then listen. You're going to get no argument from me. I just quite like it. But then also as well, it depends on the act. Like, listen, Shakira. I know a couple of her songs. Madonna. I'm not a fan of Madonna. I know she's a legend, but that's not my cup of tea.
Good evening, it is the final word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, alongside Alan Pardew, former West Ham Newcastle gaffer in the studio today, but he's got his West Ham colours on. Is that a little hint that you wanted the Hammers to do it?
Yeah, I wanted West Ham to get something today. I didn't expect them to necessarily win, but I thought they might sneak a draw.
Well, we've got a whole 45 minutes to come. We'll keep you updated with Steve Harmison from St James's Park. But now, we do love our lower league and grassroots football on this show.
We do.
Pardew, you've managed and played at every level.
I have.
So that is why on this show, we always doff our cap to those. Let's now go back to Wembley to find out how the FA Trophy finals go between Southend and Wealdstone from talkSPORT's Ian Abrams.
It finished Southend 0, Wealdstone 0, as with the FA Vars that finished Stoneham 0, Cockfosters 0. Both sides agreed to forego the extra time period, thank goodness, and go straight to a penalty shootout. Southend did hit the post from Cardwell and had the ball in the net, disallowed over a foul on the goalkeeper. Wealdstone over the 90, probably though created more chances and more saves from Adeng and Doy. Stoneham won 4-2 in the earlier game, the FA Vars in the final against Cockfosters on penalties. The first penalty now is being lined up by Southend in front of their fans, and I'll tell you, it's been hammered into the roof of the net as well by the goal scorer Charlie Kendall, who came on as a sub. So 1-0 to Southend. I'll keep you up to date with the penalty shootout as the FA Trophy final will be decided on spot kicks.
Thank you very much, Moose. Right, there's a huge game in Bordeaux in the Women's Six Nations. At talkSPORT's Alfie Reynolds has exactly what happened.
And it is finished France 28, England 43. The Red Roses win another Women's Six Nations title, and this one might be the most special. John Mitchell's side were without 11 players from last year's World Cup final, away to France, and they got the job done. They were excellent. In the end, it was at a canter as well. It's their 38th win in a row in all competitions, and by some distance, they are the dominant force in women's rugby. It's a Grand Slam again. It's England's title again. It finished in Bordeaux, France 28, England 43.
03717 22 3344 is the number to call during the show if you want to get through to us. And we've got plenty of things to talk about. Pards, Man United,
England ladies, rugby.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done to them.
Well, let's talk about Lee. He's a Man United fan. He was at the game today. How are you, Lee?
Hi, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, very well. How are you feeling about the season now it's coming to an end?
Oh, it's so much better. You were talking about manager of the season. I think managerial decision of the season was to get rid of Amorim. I wouldn't say Carrick was the manager of the season, but that was the best decision that they made. But today's game, it was end to end. It was end to end stuff in the second half. I saw the ball bounce up and hit Mbeumo on the arm, and I thought, oh God, no, that's not going to get given. And we were all surprised after that long review for it to be given. And as for Bruno and his assist record, he probably could have smashed it and gone beyond if we had had a competent striker on today. He made him, and Mbeumo looked average today playing in that position because it's obviously not his main position. But it was good. It was a good atmosphere. Great send off for Casemiro, and just a good finish to the season.
Just a quick question for you, right? Because obviously Casemiro is going. And there's a lot of talk about Anderson. And if I was Anderson today, I would have had, I'll show you guys. How did he play today for Forest? He
threw himself to the ground a bit too much today. I think he's been watching Bruno, but I think he would actually, he would fit in well in that middle there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's an outstanding player. There's no doubt about that. There'll be some suitors for him coming up.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And if we make the right signings, then there could be a push. I'm not optimistic that we're going to push for a league title, but we could definitely be up there in the conversation.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, as you say, the sort of season Michael had turning it around from Amorim, probably, as you're quite rightly saying, not really manager of the year, but I like your quote, decision of the year. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Shout. That's a good shout. Thank you very much, Lee. Let's go over to Jill, the Man United fan. Hello, Jill.
Hi, Marge. Hi, Pods. How you doing? Sorry about the voice.
Oh, what's wrong with the voice?
I've been singing.
What have you been singing, Jill?
Casemiro song.
Can we have a rendition?
Absolutely. UNITED, United are the team for me.
Oh, you've not sung that in a while.
I better not do the rest.
No, we'll keep it clean. What was it like, Jill, today? What was the atmosphere like? Did they do the tour at the end of the pitch?
Atmosphere was brilliant. We're going to send up for Casemiro. We're going to miss him, though, Pods.
Yeah.
We need to replace him, big star next season for Europe, because he's an integral part, I think. We should have scored so many more today. I don't know what happened with Mbeumo. He couldn't hit a barn door. Mainu was great in the middle, I thought. I think it was good. 3-2 I was a bit disappointed with, because it should have been about 4 or 5. But it's 3 points. It's third. Let's go. Happy days. And give it Carrick. Give it Carrick.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I see, Ratcliffe this week, he's in the one of the wealthiest men in Great Britain, of course. And I think this decision was one of his easier ones, if I'm honest. I know there was a lot of shout to maybe bring in a big name, but when someone's doing the job and they got the history that Michael's got at Man United, I thought it was an absolute no-brainer, and I'm really pleased they made that decision.
Absolutely, but we've got to back him, Pards. We've got to back him.
Absolutely. Yeah, you need some players.
Him and then not back him.
Yeah, for sure.
Jill, I'm going to ask you this and ask Pards, as Pards is the gaffer, and obviously you're going to be biased as a Man United fan. But Bruno, where does he rank in the all-time Premier League number 10s, Pards?
Well, that's a tough one. He's definitely in the conversation. There's been some brilliant players in that position. But even, go back to Man United and the number 10s that they've had over the years. So, he's got enough competition with that football club. But, I think without sort of, running through a load of names, I would like to take my hat off to him today. This particular calendar year, when he's had not the greatest front line in front of him, and he's still managed to get 20 assists. I mean, when you look at De Bruyne and Thierry Henry, they had proper teams around them and goal scorers galore. So, I mean, Fernandes, you have to say, probably is the standout of those of that stat. Yeah, if I'm honest.
Absolutely, Jill. Thank you very much. Let's go back over to Wembley and get what's happened at Southend against Wealdstone. Moose.
Southend with the ball on the spot, and it's slammed into the back of the net, and they've won it. Guys home, the winning penalty, and Southend win the shootout 4-2 on penalties, beaten here at Wembley last year in the playoff final by Oldham. Kevin Mayer's side have come back and put things right this afternoon. The future of Mayer, his backroom staff, and most of his players, including the penalty shootout victor there, Gus Scott Morris, all up in the air, because some are out of contract and some may be dispensed with. Gary Waddock's Wealdstone did well on the day, just not well enough in the shootout. So congratulations to Stoneham, who won the FA Vase on penalties, and Southend United, who won the FA Trophy on penalties this afternoon at Wembley, after it finished 4-2 on spot kicks.
Yes, brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Moose. Wow. They must be
well done, Southend. I mean, all the shenanigans that's gone on down there with a financial situation. Fantastic for their fans that they've actually got something to shout about at long last.
And of course, our Kitch, who's normally on the buttons on a Sunday night, is a Southend fan.
No,
he's there today, isn't he? I think Ross. Big up to producer Ross. I'm sure he said he was there today. So yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's time for him to celebrate as well. 03717 223344 is the number to call. We have got lots and lots of shouts for Manager of the Year. As well, the Manager of the Year should be the 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st. It would allow a recognition. It would allow a recognition for other reasons other than winning the silverware. For me, first is Pep. He's a magician of getting the best out of players. That's from Bilko. Manager of the Year is Martin O'Neill.
At Celtic. I mean, I watched that game yesterday. Wow, that unfolded. Wow, those Hearts fans, I did feel for them.
It was
hard to take. But for Martin, wow, what a great end to his career. I mean, when I say end, it might not be the end.
No.
They might install him for another year. But what a job he did to go in there and the mess that he had to get the results he did. I mean, you could say fortune favoured him a little bit in terms of those last two games where the penalty decision and obviously the result yesterday. But nevertheless, Celtic champions again. But commiserations to Hearts, who put up an outstanding effort. Really did.
Right, we have got so much to go through during the show today, of course, as we keep you updated with everything happening at St James's Park. It's currently Newcastle 2, West Ham 0, 53 minutes played. Of course, West Ham desperately need to get something from this, Pards. Even though a point probably is not good enough, they need to have a win, but, No,
I think a point, I still...
From this position, would be amazing.
Yeah, and I don't think a point... I know you're assuming that Spurs are going to win.
I'm assuming nothing. I'm hoping,
but I don't think they are. And
at this position,
West Ham have got Leeds the last game, which won't be easy. But I fancy them in that game. If they can get a point here, then I think they've got a chance. Yeah,
massive.
But they have steadied the ship a little bit. They look a little bit more secure.
Yes.
But 2 goals. Can they find 2 goals here? Is going to be difficult.
But if they do lose this game, it means Spurs just need to get a point from the last 2 games.
Yeah, and you would expect that.
Yeah, especially with a home game in the last game of the season as well. So much to go through as well. If you've got your grassroots shouts, you want to let us know, send us some voice notes into 03717 22 3344. Kev said, do you know what's really impressive? Kevin De Bruyne and Henry didn't take corners to get those 20 assists.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yes, a good point.
Yep.
Get those calls in, get your grassroots shouts in. It's Sunday. It's Pards. You've got extended Imagine Pards tonight. We started half an hour earlier.
Yeah.
So lots to go through. It's Imagine Pards on the Sunday night here on talkSPORT.
Another developing story this morning coming out of Manchester United. Manchester United have reportedly reached out to other potential candidates, but wish to speak to Michael Carrick first. What do you read into that? Is the significant fact of that Carrick gets first dibs in speaking to those who will make the ultimate decision?
Well,
in other words, he's leading the way.
I find it strange how these things come out. Like, who is it leaking the fact that United have spoken or speaking to other candidates before they speak to Michael? I mean, it's bizarre, especially when you're talking about one of the biggest clubs in the world. Can they not do business? Can they not keep their own counsel? I find that a bit bizarre, but he's done really well. And, with the position they were in to where he's got them, you could argue he deserves another go at it and bring some players in the summer. And I wouldn't say that's a huge risk. The progression they've made under him, I'd give him another go. Yeah.
Yeah. Significant, Simon, that they want to speak to Carrick first.
Yeah, again, I don't know who's briefing in and whether it's coming from Carrick's side or whether it's coming from Man United's side as to the briefing in as to why Man United need. You can employ an England manager without anyone knowing about it, but they can't seemingly have a conversation amongst themselves without broadcasting it to the media. I don't understand why that is the case. I still think it's fraught with lots of questions that need to be asked and answered about the position of someone that becomes in moments of adversity. We've seen no moments of adversity for Carrick, really. He's done the job, so it makes it a conundrum.
Right, we are now into the second half at St James's Park, and here with all the latest of Newcastle taking on West Ham, it's Steve Harmison.
Yeah, Newcastle 2, West Ham 0. Hour gone, and there's just a little VAR check, a little flashpoint. Thomas Souček, he's been yellow carded from Jared Gillett. He challenged him with Bruno Guimaraes. Bruno Guimaraes fell on the ball, and Souček, while Guimaraes is trying to protect the ball, he's kicked him once, twice, and then 3 times. But I think yellow card is just about right. Tonali has gone off. Willock has come on for Newcastle. But from West Ham's point of view, I mean, they've had a couple of half chances. Fernandez had an effort from the edge of the box. Callum Wilson, I think this sums it up a little bit of where West Ham are at this moment in time. Callum Wilson's had 47 Premier League goals for Newcastle United. Only Isak and Shearer scored more Premier League goals than him, and he was through on goal a second ago, and instead of just shifting it out of his right foot and firing it at Nick Pope, he tried to pass it sideways, and Sven Botman got an interception. But apart from that, West Ham again really methodical through this second half. They don't strike me as a team who are playing for their Premier League survival. It's Newcastle 2, West Ham 0.
Thank you, Steve. Pards, would you agree with that? Just watching it.
Well, I think it's hard to say that comment in terms of, don't look like they're bothered. Of course they're bothered. They know their whole. Some of their wages are going to get cut in half. Some of their contracts are going to have clauses in them that are going to be difficult. And the last thing they want is to go down. So they're fighting. But of course, sometimes if the team is not quite balanced, if it's not right, it can still look awful. There are moments in this game where I can imagine that you could see that it looks like they ain't really putting enough effort in, but they are. It's just
not ticking.
Do you know what I mean?
It's difficult, isn't it?
It's right. It's a horrible one. I've seen teams sometimes trying too hard, and actually when you get in that scenario, it can look ugly.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just got to kind of get that balance right. And they're not getting it right at the moment.
No. Right, let's head back to Gabby Partington for all the latest from the PGA Championship.
PGA Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
Well, the heat's definitely shown up at Aronimink, hasn't it? With the warmest conditions of the week greeting the players for this final round. So expect the course to get firmer and faster as the day goes on. It's going to get tasty, I warn you. Kurt Kitayama made the most of an early tee time, didn't he? A flawless 63 matches the lowest final round in PGA Championship history and sees him sit alongside Justin Thomas, who's playing some lovely golf himself with 4 birdies through 7. Justin Rose also joins that group at 3 under par for the championship after an opening birdie, along with good friend Rory McIlroy, who tees off in around 20 minutes' time. But they all still trail leader Alex Smalley. Now, the 29-year-old is chasing not only the Wanamaker Trophy, but what would be his first professional victory. And listen to this. Smalley spent 3 years living in the Wanamaker dorm at Duke and even joked with his parents beforehand that maybe one day it could be his. Well, the American gets underway alongside good friend Matty Schmidt in around 40 minutes' time, so we'll see.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Gabby. We'll be keeping you up to date there. Pards, you're going to want to talk to some of the phone calls that are coming in. We have got a West Ham fan waiting to come on. We got Newcastle fans waiting to come on. The phone lines are alight on 03 717 223344. But right now, I had a Villa night on Friday night as Villa secured Champions League football under Unai Emery at Villa Park after beating Liverpool 4-2. They've got a massive cup game this Wednesday. Europa League final. They could have had an incredible season. And I think John, the Villa fan, wants to put forward his gaffer for manager of the season. How are you, John?
How you doing, all right? Can you hear me?
Not bad at all, mate. You ready for this week? You excited?
Oh, I'm actually over the moon. I'm nervous, excited. I'm not sure. Really not sure.
Are you managing to get out there, or are you watching it at home?
No, unfortunately, I didn't secure a ticket, so I couldn't flipping get out there. A bit of a kick in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing some stuff back home, and
you can listen to it on talkSPORT as well, John. So it's all fine.
Yeah, of course, Mad. Yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, my point was, I think you raised it earlier about like managers of the season. I think you brought up Michael Carrick, or I'm guessing Arteta, Pep Guardiola, the normal the Bournemouth manager, Areola.
Yeah.
The Sunderland manager, I won't even attempt to say his name, but I can't believe Unai Emery has been omitted from even the top 6 in the league from not being manager of the season. I mean, we've secured Champions League again. We potentially, I don't want to curse it, but we're going to win the Europa League.
Yep.
We're absolutely crippled by PSR, FCL, whatever you call it now.
Yeah,
and he's pulled it out of the bag. And,
great call. I think we've got quite a bad line there, John. But just the thing, as I was saying, he feels Unai Emery, who has got qualification for the Champions League yet again, possibly winning some silverware this week in Europe. And they are
favourites. I mean, Freiburg are a decent side, but they're not as good as Villa.
No.
Villa on their day should turn them over, which means, he could have the trophy in his hands again. I mean, he's outstanding manager. And I actually thought, when I looked at that Man United job, and I thought to myself, well, if Michael doesn't get it, I thought he would be the one that if I was technical director there, that's the one I would go for, Emery. I think he's had the experience and the nous. I know it didn't quite work out at Arsenal, but I think there's mitigating circumstances there. But I'm sure our Villa fans won't want to hear that. They want him to stay for the next period of his career at Aston Villa. I don't know how tired they're going to be in terms of financial restraints this summer. It sounds like they're going to be in a similar position to last summer. Winning the cup will probably...
Pards, I'm going to have to stop you there. It gets from bad to worse for West Ham. Steve Harmison.
Oh, it has. It's Newcastle 3, West Ham 0. It's William Osula, and it's a gift from West Ham. A throw in right in front of the Newcastle dugout. It's thrown in, miscontrolled. A touch from Joe Willock into Willisula. Willisula back to Joe Willock. 3 against 2. Willock slides it back to Osula. 6 yards out, pops it home in front of the Gallagher. Newcastle 3, West Ham 0.
That's right, Steve Harmison at St James's Park for the tsunami today, and the rest of the show, I'll be speaking like a Geordie because Newcastle United have done a great favour for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, another gift from West Ham, unfortunately. I mean...
Talk us through the goal, Pards.
3 big errors, Steve just talked you through it, It was a throw-in, you got no pressure. It's your throw-in in your half, which is completely
2 at the back as well.
Missed it. And then, and then you got a 3v2, and they've worked it well, actually, at the end.
Do you know what? This sounds very strange coming from a Spurs fan, but I'm gutted for West Ham because, you know what? I say it all the time. I say it to my West Ham friends, you hate us. I have no ill feeling towards West Ham whatsoever. I grew up with Harry Redknapp's West Ham, and they were, there were some mavericks in that team. I think for West Ham fans, and a lot, as I said, a lot of my friends are West Ham, and I feel for them.
Yeah.
And, considering they moved to that London stadium to kick on, they got that European trophy, when Declan was still there and Jared Bowen scoring that wonderful goal.
It's just a really poor year for West Ham all round, and obviously Karen Brady's left, and this regime looks like it's lost control of the tightness they had of the signings, and although they've put a good shift in this last period, this last sort of 10-game period. It's just been not good enough, and this is a big story. West Ham going down. We always knew that West Ham or Spurs, if one of them went, it was going to be a massive, massive story. Spurs probably a bigger story, let's be honest. But it's still for West Ham to come out of the Premier League this year is a massive story, and it looks like really uncomfortable now. As you say, you only need a draw now with the goal difference that's in place, and you're done.
And 2 massive clubs in Sunderland and Leeds coming up and staying up is another massive thing there, isn't it? Because, with the money that they're going to now generate for the clubs,
and the money, remember West Ham bought big in the last window to try and correct the situation. And change managers. It's a very expensive business to try and stay in the Premier League, and when you don't, then that is just amplified the issue.
And where does this leave the players like Jared Bowen, Somerville, and some of the class players they have at West Ham?
Well, very similar to when I took over, I'm guessing, because when I took over West Ham, they just got relegated, and Defoe, David James, all those players, Michael Carrick, they all moved on because they got suitors in the Premier League, and you're under financial pressure to bring some cash in.
Well, West Ham fans, I'm sure some of you that have been listening to us are watching the game as well, and you've probably turned it off now. If you want to call us, it's 03717 223344. Come to speak to your former gaffer who took you all the way to an FA Cup final. Speak to him about how things are going and how you feel it's gone this season and where do you go from here, especially if you've just left St James's Park with the game still going on. I'm watching West Ham fans leave St James's Park now, and let me tell you that away end is not too nice to be in. You're listening to The Final Word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. It all starts with a spin. 18 plus, gamblerware.org.
James Corden is with us in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning, mate.
Good morning, James.
So happy to be here.
It's our pleasure. How are you?
I'm really well. Yeah, I'm very good.
Thank you for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
It's lovely to. We've got so much to talk to you about.
For sure.
Before we talk about football, right?
Yes.
I was just going over old stuff that you've done, right?
Mm.
And I was watching with my producer Ollie this morning when you did the Sports Personality of the Year. I think it was 09, 07, I can't remember. It was nearly 20 years ago. And you stood up in front of everyone, right?
Yes.
You gave, as Smithy, you gave this massive speech.
Smithy won Coach of the Year.
And I said to the producer, he's got a good memory, right? How nerve-wracking must that have been for you? Was that just insane? Did you have autocue on that? Or was that...
Well, yeah, no, there was a prompter, but the issue was with that is we shot that 8 minutes
before
they went live for Sports Personality, so we only had one. We could only do it once.
Yeah.
From the standing up in the crowd, the walking through, doing all the stuff. So also, we had to make sure that lots of people were in the audience because as Sports Personality, they all wait in this room before they go out, and we had to go up to like Freddie Flintoff, and what we had to say to him, we had to go, Freddie, we're going to do this thing. Don't laugh along,
okay?
Because it can't look like it's like a sort of roast monologue.
Yeah,
which is why Freddie's such a brilliant actor. Looks so angry in that we just like make out like it's real. Don't just laugh along when we start saying all these things to different people. And the only instruction I was given was you can't interact with Capello because they were like, you're not allowed to interact with Capello.
Thomas Tuchel's busy trying to bring glory back to England for the first time since '66. But how did he get here? Well, from the sleepy town of Krumbach via some giants of European football, here's his journey to Wembley. Sitting around 60 miles west of Munich, Krumbach's population is less than 14,000 people. But Tuchel's friends there remember a boy whose ambitions lay far beyond the Bavarian community. His will to win was evident early. Tuchel often captained his youth football teams, and his school side lifted the national German football trophy in 1987. The sport took the young defender on a whistle-stop tour of South Germany, from Augsburg to Stuttgart and then Ulm. A knee injury ended his playing career at the age of 25, though. Tuchel accepted his first coaching role in the Stuttgart youth setup in 2000, hired by none other than Ralf Rangnick. Under Tuchel's stewardship, the club's under-19s won their league title in 2005. But Stuttgart chose not to renew his contract, feeling Tuchel had an abrasive personality. He went on to manage Augsburg's second team before spending 5 years at the helm at Mainz. He then followed in Jurgen Klopp's footsteps and moved from Mainz to Dortmund. Here, Tuchel secured his first major silverware, the German Cup, in 2017. 8 more major trophies came next for Tuchel in just 5 glorious seasons. He won 2 Ligue 1 titles and a pair of domestic cups as PSG boss. At Chelsea, he famously lifted the Champions League as well as a Super Cup and a Club World Cup, and he also bagged a Bundesliga at Bayern Munich. And then, 4 months after leaving Bayern, Tuchel was unveiled as England's new manager.
I always wanted to come back to England. That was my big goal. I have the best memories of the country, of the league and of the players. The attitude towards the game, the attitude from the supporters.
Well, here's hoping Tuchel can finally drag England over the line at a major tournament.
Good evening. You are listening to the Final Word Phone-In with me, Majestic, alongside the former Newcastle and West Ham gaffer, Alan Pardew. And we'll be heading to St James's Park for all the latest in that crucial
Come on, you Hammers.
derby very soon. The score is currently 3-1 to Newcastle. West Ham fans, we want to hear from you right now on 03 717 22 3344. We'll be talking about that race for Europe very shortly, and we still want to know who you think should become manager of the season. Keep your calls coming into us on a huge day in the Premier League on 03 717 22 3344. Remember, we are now live on YouTube and also on your smart TV, including LG devices, Fire TV, Apple TV, and Google TV, so you can watch us in glorious 4K. But now it's all about you and your opinion. Give us a call, 03 717 22 3344. Great goal by West Ham.
I mean, old school goal, old school. Goalkeeper smashes it up the top of the pitch, flicked on by Callum, and then just smashed home by the other striker who's running behind. I mean, you can't get more old school than that.
14 minutes to go, Pards. You're in...
They've had 2 big chances since then, by the way.
You're in Nuno's position. What do you do here?
I mean, to be fair, you're obviously going to make changes if you think you can put a more attacking, offensive team on. I mean, Eddie's gone to a 5-4-1. That's where West Ham are now. They've got the ascendancy. They need to get the second goal quickly.
They just hit the bar. West Ham just hit the bar. It is literally, if they can get another one now, that is game on.
Giannis again. Wow. Well, as I say, you know, that's what's the beauty of the Premier League, isn't it? It's never quite over. Incredible. So they're having a good old fist of it now, and they've still got 13 minutes left. Plenty of time.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff. 03717 22 3344. Right, let's talk about the race for Europe, Pards, because it finished Leeds 1, Brighton 0. Ellen Road, mate. It's not easy to go in there, is it?
No, it isn't. And, we've also got this situation where Aston Villa could win the Europa League of course, and Arsenal could win the Champions League, and which confuses that whole European positions completely. But as it stands at the moment, Bournemouth look like they're in to me, and Brighton and Brentford have got a great opportunity to get there too. It looks like it's over for Everton. Chelsea possibly could get 55 points, so they could still get in it. So we'll see. It'll be a real fight on the last day. That might be the only thing, actually. We might go to the last game of the season with the European positions available, because you could do the business of the week if the result stays the same. Arsenal could do the business this week by winning, and Man City not quite getting across the line. So we'll see.
Eddie Howe's Newcastle, they needed to hold on to this victory, didn't they? They don't want to be drawing their last game at home when they go 3-0 up.
Yeah, you're speaking like a Spurs fan there.
I'm speaking like somebody who's a Newcastle fan. I don't want my team to go down from 3-0 up to 3-all, man.
No, I
Come
can
on.
tell you're just you're desperate for them to win. But West Ham pushing. Come on, the Hammers.
They are pushing. They are pushing hard as well. And you know what? One thing I'll give the West Ham team, they don't give up.
No.
They've had late goals, so they know they can get late goals. And Newcastle have conceded.
It's a shame they didn't do this all year. This sort of last 10, 12 games have been okay.
Yeah, it's not. Do they deserve to go down?
Well, you always get those kind of negative Nellies who say, "Oh, well, you know what, they didn't start the year. All the managers have changed. They deserve it." No, I don't think anyone really deserves to go down. You're either good enough or you're not good enough. Unfortunately for West Ham, in the first part of the season, they wasn't good enough, and that's the problem. Likewise, Wolves, who have not been good enough all year, and Burnley, who have not been good enough all year. But they've fought. They've tried. It's not like they've laid down the arms. They've tried to arrest the situation, which is not good enough. And unfortunately, that's where it looks like West Ham are going to go.
Do you know what's not?
Can't quite believe it, really.
Do you know what's not good enough?
Go on.
Producer Ross putting down on my sheet. Wolves won, Leeds won. We've just done the Leeds score, and that's against Brighton. How many Leeds teams are in the Premier League? You mean Fulham? He said he's enjoying the game. Get to work. You're lucky I knew what the score was. Fulham, Wolves 1-1 with Fulham. Your Fulham, Pards.
Yeah. Well, they've had a good season, and we've still got this speculation of, did Chelsea interview Silva, which would have been like, to Fulham fans, wow, what, he won't see, he's got a contract on the table. He doesn't seem like he wants to sign it. Is he going to go elsewhere? What are they going to do? They've got a great little team there, great camaraderie amongst them. You only got to watch them, and I've seen them enough this year to know that they got a great spirit in that dressing room with that group of players. So if he goes, I still think they'll have a successful season next year, because I think they've got good players.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Brentford and one of your former clubs, Crystal Palace, 2 apiece. Brentford, they needed to win that if they were going to try and,
Well, it sounds like Palace should have won that game. I was listening to Perry, talking about, he was at the game, and sounded like Palace should have, comfortably won it. But, I look at Crystal Palace, they got 45 points. And they got 51 last year. He hasn't done particularly well in the league, Glasner, for all these, all the plaudits that he gets. But again, the FA Cup was the big thing last year, and this opportunity they have. They got to play Arsenal on the Sunday, in the last game of the season, where I can tell you, right, in exclusive, that a lot of Crystal Palace fans have been kind of moving their tickets on.
Really?
And I expect there to be about 28,000 Arsenal fans there on Sunday night, because all the Palace supporters are saving their money to get to Leipzig and back. So there you got that. That will be like a home game for Arsenal. That's my exclusive.
Pards exclusive. Well, your thoughts? We're not sure that's actually happening.
No. That's my assumption.
There you go.
That's right.
After a 2-2, don't get you in any trouble, Pards. After a 2-2 draw away against Brentford, talkSPORT's Alex Crook spoke to Crystal Palace boss Oliver Glasner and asked him about how much he will rotate his squad for the Arsenal game ahead of their big European final.
No, we won't rest players. Players want to play, they want to be in a rhythm, and if you could see them. So they are not fatigued. Yes, we will manage the minutes a little bit, like we did today, like we did all the last games. So the substitution at halftime was planned. Jeremy Pino and Brennan Johnson, 45 each. Jürgen Strand Larsen, GP Matete. We have this 60-30 rotation more or less in every single game, so that they are always fresh and this is how we will approach the Arsenal game. And again, I think everybody has to understand, and everybody understands, that we are not responsible for Arsenal, we are not responsible for Manchester City, we are just responsible for Crystal Palace, for us as a group, for the club, and especially for our fans. It will be the last home game of the season before thousands of supporters travel to Leipzig, and we want to have the first big party at Selhurst and the second at Leipzig, and so we will play the best team, we will manage the minutes in the best way, but no big rotation.
That was the Crystal Palace boss, Oliver Glasner, speaking to talkSPORT's Alex Crook ahead of their big game against Arsenal and whether or not they're going to be resting people for the European final. You heard what you said there, Pardew. Do you believe him?
Managing the minutes of our players was the clue. That means that there will be changes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And his best team, his very, very best team, will play Wednesday night. I don't expect that to be the same team that plays Sunday, because if that would be not managing the minutes, if you know what I mean.
It wouldn't be, would it?
Yeah. I mean, you can't blame him, but the integrity of the league and everything else, but that's the way it sometimes pans out. You got to earn that right, and Arsenal have earned that right, haven't they?
Yeah.
By getting in the position that they're in.
Well, let's just have a look at the sort of top 8 of the Premier League now, Pards.
Do we see much fluctuation there?
Yeah. Who's finishing 5th and 6th? Because you got Bournemouth still with 2 games to play. They're currently 4 points behind.
No, but they got tough games. Liverpool.
Do you know what? I'm going to stop now. I'm going to head over to St James's Park to go to Steve Harmison. Steve.
Yeah, it's Newcastle 3, West Ham 1. There's 6 minutes left on the clock in a brilliant moment. Everybody in the St James's Park crowd and a lot in the media centre, standing ovation for Kieran Trippier, who's been here for 4.5 years. He came from Atletico Madrid for £12 million. He won the trophy that Newcastle have been missing for 70 years, and he's just left the field for one final time here at St James's. There was a banner at on the halfway line before the game saying he will always be a Newcastle hero. Kieran Trippier goes off. There's 5 minutes left in this game, and the Hammers are still behind, way behind. It's Newcastle 3, West Ham 1.
Thank you very much, Stephen. We'll keep you up to date with that, with 5 minutes plus added time to play at St James's Park. Trippier there. Let's talk quickly about Kieran Trippier. Looks obviously very emotional as he signs out. You've been a Newcastle manager, and I've seen some of the responses on here, Pards, and you always talk when you bump into the Toon Army. When they take you to their heart, how does that feel?
It's lovely, and he's done exceptionally well there. I mean, he's carried himself so well on the football pitch. He's a winner, isn't he? Every time you see him go out there, he's got that kind of grit and determination about him. And that, when you ask a Newcastle supporter what they really want, what do they want from a player? They want to see flair. They want to see the David Ginolas and all that, but they want to see grit. They want to see you fight. That's what they want to see, and he typifies that. And that's why he's going to be, loved there and get a lovely send-off.
Well done, Kieran Trippier. Where do you think he goes next?
I don't know. Financially, they're in a different situation now to professional footballers who have retired in the past. The finances have been so great that it's a kind of strange period for them, because they don't really need the finance. I think it's just about how much love they have for the game.
35 years of age.
Yeah. Do they want to carry on playing? Do they want to go into coaching? Do they want to, start a new career? I remember Eric Young at Crystal Palace when the era was different. We couldn't wait to finish so he could start his accountancy career.
Really?
So you always get different types of, personalities.
Yeah.
Newcastle trying to score again here.
Coming up next, we'll be heading to St James's Park for the full-time reaction, and we have a very passionate Man United fan talking all things VAR.
Oh.
That's all to come here on The Final Word on talkSPORT.
ask this. Let me ask this. Out of all the players that Tottenham have, in terms of technical dribbling ability, is Madders not able to change the direction of the ball at drop of a hat? Is he not, though? Is that not his bag? Yeah. That's what he can do, right? Yeah. Come on now.
How often?
Come on now.
What are we talking? You're talking about James Maddison.
Like, here we go. He hates him, innit? Yeah, here we go.
I don't care about James Maddison, but we can't pretend that James Maddison is some sort of...
Madders would walk into your squad right now.
James Maddison?
Maddison would walk into your squad right now.
There isn't a Chelsea...
And furthermore, in terms of your 10s and creative players, if Madders was on his day, he'd be the best one in your team. On his day, yeah.
This is the most wild thing I've ever heard.
Who are your cams? It's not. Cole Palmer.
You do wild comments. Cole Palmer. It's very rare that I'm speechless, but this is that moment.
Cole Palmer, I'm a fan of Cole. I think he's great. And on his day, he's an amazing player, yeah. I do think Madders, though, on his day, provides something that you don't have in your squad right now.
James Maddison wouldn't have got into a Chelsea squad in the last 40 years.
That's insane.
There isn't one Chelsea squad.
He's getting in this squad. There isn't a Chelsea right squad with James Maddison. Start for you now.
James Maddison.
While he was injured, he would have started for you.
James, do you know what? If he was part of our squad, do you know what he'd be doing? He'd be vlogging it from the sidelines, sitting with opposing fans' YouTube channel.
You know what, yeah? My Spurs friends have warned me about you, yeah?
Yeah, trust me.
But look, I respect it. I actually respect what you're saying. Like, it's fair enough. You're entitled to an opinion. You're wrong, but you're entitled to an opinion.
I'm completely correct.
No,
you are wrong. Trust me. You're wrong. You're actually wrong. He's wrong. Tell him.
Do you know part of the reason why Tottenham are in this predicament?
Go on.
It's because of the standards that are set by Vice-Captain James Maddison, sitting in the stands, vlogging with angry Ginge as you concede goals against Man United.
I have no problem with that at all. I think he's a great player. If he wants to vlog while he's injured, he's got an ACL. What do you want him to do? Sit around moping?
That's a Tottenham mentality.
You get in your squad.
All right.
Maddison.
Yeah.
Maddison doesn't
He would.
You've got so many players in your squad. He would. Like,
by the way,
the same winger.
By the way, I just want to say, Tottenham mentality is Chelsea's mentality to wear that gold badge that you won that Disney Cup. That's your mentality.
Good evening, you are listening to talkSPORT and the final word phone in here with me, Majestic, and former West Ham and Newcastle gaffer Alan Pardew, as there are 7 minutes of added time at St James's Park. They've played a minute of it, so 6 left on the clock for West Ham to get 2 goals. Difficult ask, Pards.
Just a bit.
Right.
That's to get a point, by the way.
Yeah. Now it's time to get all the ladies from the PGA Championship from talkSPORT's voice of golf, the one and only Rupert Bell.
PGA Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed.
Well, we're entering crunch time, and Rory McIlroy has begun his final round, and after his excellent recovery after his disappointing first round, well, it was a bit of a scruffy opening for Rory McIlroy. He parred the first hole, not a great tee shot. He needs to make sure that he finds the fairways here, but at least he remains at his current score of 3 under par. But that is still 3 behind Alex Smalley, the leader. He'll be going out in the next 15 minutes or so. But plenty of players ganging in behind the leader. Justin Thomas coming towards the end of his round, former winner of this. Well, he is 4 under. 4 under for his round. Cameron Smith, former Open champion on the Live Tour, he's 2 under for his round at 4 under. And Maverick McNeely's got an early birdie to get to 4 under. Justin Rose is definitely not out of it. He's not got another birdie chance, but he's back at 3 under, so don't rule him out. But all to play for, and certainly so many players are believing they've got a chance. Although Scotty Scheffler, I have to say, has been rather scruffy on the greens. He has, and he is at 2 under par.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rupert Bell. I'm sure he would like to say Unai Emery is a potential manager of the year, being the Villa fan.
Yeah.
That he is.
Big Villa fan. Let's hope he's got his ticket.
I think he has. He said on Friday the sports players off to Istanbul.
Good for him.
Yeah. Right, let's go to the phone lines. I told you we've got a Manchester United fan. Michael joins us. Good evening, Michael.
Good evening. How are you boys doing?
Very well, my friend. Very well. This
You're
result.
limping.
This result for me.
The line to survival. It's horrible, isn't it? But I mean, I just think, today, VAR, I'm sorry, it has to be scrapped next season because it's getting ridiculous now, isn't it?
Well, what did you think of the Man United goal?
Do you know what? That should not have been counted.
No
If
way.
that's not handball, I'm sorry, I've lost the plot now, but it's handball.
Yeah.
I mean, the other week, it should have a penalty against Bournemouth. We made a mistake. It should have been a penalty, Referees can't make a decision by themselves because they're wrapped in this cotton wool going, "Father will get me out of this."
Yeah, well, I think there's some of the decisions that they're kind of sort of sitting on the fence a little bit and expecting that little voice in their ear to go, "Oh, we better go and have a look at this." That's unfortunately how it's being reffed at the moment. I just feel for people in the stadiums because, these 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever it is, waiting, not knowing what's going on. Little communication. The refs, is he going to speak to us? Oh, here he comes. It's just awful for the paying public.
It is, but I look at rugby and go, TMO, they do it really quick.
Yeah, they're much better.
Precise. I do not understand why rugby can't do football.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big rugby union fan, and that system they have seems to work far, far better than ours.
Yeah. But, today's result, yes, he got 3 points, but overall, great failure season for United. Failure not to get into the Cups, but results against top 4. Carrot will get the job, and if we get 5 good players, because I reckon we need 5.
Wow, okay.
2 midfielders, left back, right back, centre back. You get that right, maybe United could challenge that title next season because this season, since the Carrots come in, they beat the big guns.
Oh, for sure. His results against the big boys have been excellent. And the performances, actually. Some of the performances against the better teams have been better than the performances against the lower, which is always sometimes the way because, you're up against quality opposition, you've got to raise your game, and sometimes you can just do enough without actually pushing. I genuinely think that he's got a good base to a team, though, Michael, for next year.
He has.
Manu's had a great end of the season, hasn't he? And, etc. The young centre-backs have gained a bit of experience.
Yeah,
so,
I have the problem with Alan, and this is the biggest problem. We got a World Cup coming up. If any of those players get injured beginning of the season, then we have a problem.
Yeah, that's for everybody, though. The World Cup will take a few players out.
Fatigue, I don't know what the fatigue levels will be like at United because they're going to have more games next season now. So they're going to have to boost her up. Casemiro leaving, I wish he could stay another season because a couple of years ago I actually spoke to you guys and I said I thought his legs are gone. He don't want to be there anymore.
Well, you weren't the only one. Jamie Carragher, I think, was, he's done. But he was far from done, and he proved that. I thought it was a very good interview this week. Did you see his interview this week? It was very good.
It is.
Yeah, and, he carries himself well. They're going to miss his personality in the dressing room. That's for sure.
And his leadership skills.
Yeah, exactly. But, I think you should stay on the positive. I think Michael's a good decision. And, as you say, if they can get that recruitment right, and definitely the midfield players to come in, a real established, proper player. And I think Anderson or Tonali or someone like that will fit the bill.
We're going to have to break your heart because it's full time at St James's Park. Let's go to Steve Harmison.
It is. It's all over at St James's Park and possibly all over West Ham in the Premier League. It's Newcastle 3, West Ham 1. An emotional day when Newcastle said goodbye to Kieran Trippier. West Ham performed largely throughout the 90 minutes like a side saying goodbye to the Premier League. Walter made it 1 after a Merteson mistake. Osula made it 2 4 minutes later. And defender off, forward on. Didn't really make too much difference for the Hammers in the end of that first half. A slow start the second half came alive 65 minutes in. A poor throw from West Ham that really have been punished from mistakes today. 4 touches later, William Osula had it second, Newcastle's third. You're saying that's it, game over. With West Ham going down with a whimper, a long ball over the top, flicked on by Wilson, and Castellanos, who had a positive effort, a positive influence in this game. He hit one from 35 yards out, straight over the top of Pope. Wilson had a chance. Castellanos hit the bar. He had another chance that he didn't work hard, Pope hard enough. But over the 90 minutes, I don't think it was good enough from West Ham. So they are now 2 points behind Tottenham with a poor goal difference. So a positive result for Tottenham on Tuesday night. We'll see West Ham playing in the Championship next season. Newcastle 3, West Ham 1.
Wow, let's go straight over to former West Ham United gaffer Alan Pardew, who I know has been willing on the hammers today, and he has been for the last few weeks. Pards, one game left at the London Stadium.
A winnable game, though.
A winnable game.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go to Chelsea, right?
Yes.
So I didn't expect them to win at Newcastle today, I've got to be honest. As well as they've been performing, I thought that was it was a stretch for them to think that they might win there or get something, and they haven't. They gifted goals, by the way, and I thought they give a decent account of themselves after they went to a 4-4-2, and I think that might be the team that plays against Leeds, that team that kind of played for that 60-minute period after the substitution. He's got to leave Castellanos on the pitch, and they've got to give Leeds a right good going. You've got to go to Chelsea. I don't think you're going to win there. And then it's going to come down to the last game of the season. I don't think it's done for West Ham quite yet.
Yeah, but then even if we lose at Chelsea, right, that means we just need a draw at home.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
And they need to win.
But can you imagine the nerves, Madge, for both clubs? But if you have to get the draw or you have to get the win, there's a different psychology to that a little bit, if you know what I mean. So that might favour West Ham in so much that they got to win. So they've got to really put out. Whereas, if you're Spurs, you're like, a draw will do us. So it's not over. I mean, it's not looking great for West Ham. You're in the driving seat. I think there's more, there is a chance you could get a draw at Chelsea, and that would be enough, wouldn't it?
The complete worst, apart from Arsenal, maybe away, or even home, fixture Spurs could ask for. It was away at Stamford Bridge.
So you never really do well, do you? Is that? I think I see that somewhere.
We don't tend to do very well at home against Chelsea.
Okay.
But if you're a Spurs player tonight and you're watching that, this is a Chelsea team that have flattered to deceive all year. Very, very winnable game. It's not Chelsea of old, but Chelsea do turn into prime Barcelona when they play us.
Yeah, well, and also they have got, we know, quality individuals that do turn up now and again to put in a great performance. I mean, the one thing I would say about Spurs, I still think Maddison is the key. Can they, has he got enough in him now for, the half a game, a 60-minute game? Because I thought he made a big difference when he came on the other night.
Big impact.
Yeah, so, if they can... I'm not so sure if I'd start him at Chelsea. I'd probably do the same again, give him sort of 25, 30 minutes, hopefully get the point. If I don't get the point, he has to start in the Everton game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's finished full-time at St James's Park. Newcastle United 3, West Ham United 1. As the Toon Army say farewell to Kieran Trippier, is this almost farewell to the Premier League for West Ham United. 03 717 22 3344. You're listening to The Final Word here on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. It all starts with a spin. 18 plus, gamblingaware.org.
Ben White is to miss the rest of Arsenal's season and is set to be ruled out of the World Cup. A suspected knee ligament injury for Ben. He picked it up on Sunday. I think it was a 50-50, wasn't it, with Somerville. of West Ham. Now, up until now, Tuchel has ignored Trent Alexander-Arnold since his move to Real Madrid this summer. Could it be goodbye Ben and hello Trent? What do you think?
My gut feeling is Tuchel just doesn't fancy Trent, no matter who's fit or not, to be honest, from a defensive point of view. That's how it feels. The recent squad, he had, 36, and he didn't put him in, so I don't see why I'd be putting him in now.
You think he's decided he's not going to be featured?
Feels that way.
Yeah.
I might be completely wrong, but
no matter what.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be going. It's a shame for Ben White because he seems to be in the good books for Tuchel, and he's just started to get his form back a little bit, playing regularly because Timber's injury. He's decent player.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know Gary Neville had a little criticism of the way he made that tackle. I kind of make him right in a way, but the problem you've got now, because I missed the final once by dangling a leg. Rio come through me hard, Rio Ferdinand, the way it leads it was. And I did my ligaments, missed the final because of it. And I look back on the tackle and think, yeah, I should have gone in full tilt. Problem you've got now with the way the rules are, especially with the follow-through rule, even if you go in full tilt and you do get the ball, but you catch someone on the way through,
and you get a red card.
Yeah, it actually encourages you to be a bit more tentative.
So what is it when you're going in fairly committed, but don't end up truly committed?
Yeah.
I mean, Gary Neville said Ben White just hangs his leg there. It's poor. He's got to be stronger than that. He's hurt himself there.
Yeah, and that's my point.
He says you're asking for trouble by doing that.
Yeah, he's right.
My life, I've never seen it. Tottenham get relegated from the Premier League. I've never seen it. I've never felt it, and I don't want to feel it. And how, after Newcastle United beat West Ham 3-1 at St James's Park, it means advantage Tottenham in the relegation battle as they now have the opportunity to go to Stamford Bridge on Tuesday night.
Squeeze a draw.
For another battle of the bridge. And if they can squeeze a draw, albeit West Ham batter leads 12-15-0 or something, and Spurs lose on the last day, it could mean West Ham are down. But still lots to go, loads of football to play. I say loads of football, one game to play for West Ham, but it all depends on what happens on Tuesday.
One mad home game. All they got to hope for, fingers crossed, that you don't get anything at Chelsea just to make that last game fruity, and it will be double fruity.
But Dave wanted to remind you, Pards, he said, come on, Pards, Spurs just need a point from a poor Chelsea team, albeit with a new manager, and at home against an out-of-form Everton. West Ham opponents' Leeds are unbeaten in 8 matches despite being injury-riven. That's from David.
Well, I still think that Everton are a very, very dangerous side, and David Moyes' sides are always dangerous when they've been poor, and they were poor today. So I expect a reaction from them. Chelsea, on the other hand, weren't too bad yesterday. I mean, you know, their performance was okay. I thought the discipline in the side was good. They just lacked a little bit of je ne sais quoi, which they have in the group. So I still think Chelsea will win. I do. I think Chelsea will win. Is it Tuesday night?
Tuesday. After
We'll
losing to Man City in the FA Cup, down and out.
No, new manager coming in.
He's not there, though.
No, but they know he's coming. So you'd want to, you know, they know he will be scrutinising that game.
Have you been hanging around with Rory Jennings?
Chelsea, I'm hoping, because I'm obviously got my West Ham colours on today.
Nah, you've been hanging around with Rory Jennings, didn't you?
That they will win against Spurs on Tuesday night and make it double fruity. The double fruity game on Sunday, next Sunday, when we're on, Madge.
Oh, bad news.
What?
I'm not here next week.
You're kidding me.
And it won't be when we're on, because we're on late next week, aren't we?
We are penciled on to be on later, yes.
9 p.m.
So we'll do the summing up of the Premier League.
Yeah, past my bedtime, mate.
Okay. Okay, I should be looking for a new colleague next week.
No, I've got a festival in Wales.
Oh, okay.
It's see how I have the football season, then the DJ season.
Well, you know, we all know that you are a man in demand, sir.
Speaking of demands, I'm sure Tony, the West Ham fan, has a few demands with his squad and his team. How are you, Tone?
Yeah, not great after that performance, mate, I have to say.
Go on, Tone. What did you think? I mean, the first 2 goals were awful, wasn't they?
Well, it looked like Newcastle, the team that were trying to fight relegation more than us. I think we came out, I think it was a wrong setup from Nuno, which we saw 25 minutes in make the change.
Agreed with that.
Wrong decision. You have to go into this game full attacking mode. I understand the threat Newcastle carry. You can't go into that sort of game 5 at the back. Saw that when the opening, 20 minutes, 2-0. I think that's the final nail in the coffin. I don't see us staying up now. Unless Tottenham go and lose against Chelsea and lose against Everton and we beat Leeds, very unlikely, won't happen. I think we've got to look forward to towards next season now. I think it's over. I think it's done. The only player that I saw in there today for any fight, any effort in that ball was Somerville, just like he has since he's come back from injury. Bowen, meant to be captain. Look, I love the man. Everything he's done for the club. He ain't turned up. The moments we needed him the most, he has not turned up. If we're looking to offload players next season to rebuild the squad, I think I'd rather have Bowen go in than Somerville. I'd rather keep him. And I think Nuno, he has not done enough. I think even if we go down, get rid of Nuno end of the season and bring Scott Parker in. Not a great record in the Premier League, but he knows how to get teams up.
Yeah, well, we all know that Championship is a very different beast to the Premier League, that's for sure. In terms of the performance today, the setup was wrong, in my opinion. I think you're right, and I just said, you know, with my Newcastle manager's hat on, if I see a team set up as 5, I'm just going to walk straight onto them. And they got found out. Todibo subbed at 24 minutes, said its own story. I thought Castellanos did brilliant when he come on, and he should have started the game. I actually thought he put a right shift in, was unlucky. Obviously scored a goal, and a couple of other times he threatened. But, you know, I think the issue is that now we got to wait till Tuesday now, and that's the big thing, isn't it? You got to hang on and hope get a chance on Sunday. Just that's all you got to hope for now as a West Ham fan, that you have half a chance on Sunday.
That's it. I don't think we will, Alan. I think it's I think it's done. Yeah. I think it's done. And the trouble is, I think, you know, look, we saw back in 2012, 2011 when we went down last time. I think sometimes, you know, we had to go down to rebuild. It sounds stupid, but we've lost our identity as a club. I don't think this ain't West Ham. And, you know, like I say, the most important game of our season, and we go out and perform like that. Second half, a bit better once, obviously, as you say, Castellanos come on. But you can't go into a must-win game with that attitude, and that was the outcome.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that was disappointing today, for me, was the defending was poor today. All 3 goals were gifted. And yet, you know, that last period, this last sort of period, they look like they've tightened up, you know, and the back fours looked, you know, better. But today, all at sea for the 3 goals. Really poor goals.
Yeah, great call. Let's go to Steve, who's a West Ham fan. He joins us on the final word. Hello, Steve.
Hello, mate. Yeah, I mean, that performance today, it just didn't look like that we was in a relegation battle. It looked the other way round. It looked like Newcastle were in a relegation battle because they had more fight about them. We didn't. We just sat back, invited them on, and before you know it, we're 2-0 down. And I honestly think that Nuno set us up wrong in the first place. And you could tell that after about 20 minutes, he changed it. So he knew that system was wrong. So why put Tadibo on? He should have just kept the back four of Mavropanos, and he shouldn't have put. He should have played Tay from the start up front with Wilson, because we need a go. We need results. So we need strikers on the pitch. So why did he set us up like he did? It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes maybe because of the Arsenal performance, he thought that was the way to go. But you know, with my Newcastle managers out on, I would have said to him, I wish I was there, because I'd have said to him, do not go there and put in 3 centre backs, because you're just going to say to the Newcastle dressing room, come on in, go and enjoy yourself, because that the psychology of that would have been enough for Eddie and his team to go, right, come on in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
That was the wrong setup to start with. We needed to attack. You know, we need a win.
Yeah.
We need a win. So we needed to go for it, but he didn't, and that was, it was a wrong setup in us, and you could tell that when he made the change after 20 minutes or whatever it was, we was much better.
Much better. In actual fact, I thought it was a fairly even game. I mean, obviously, when you got 2-goal lead, you're going to sit back a little bit, which Newcastle did. But West Ham had chances, didn't they? You know, apart from the goal, you know, Castellanos had hit the bar, and there was a couple of other ricochets and a little header that almost went in. So you're right. It was Nuno will be kicking himself going home on a bus. You know,
he will be. Yeah. He absolutely will be, because now we've got to rely on Spurs losing Tuesday, because if they get a point, we're down.
Done. Yeah,
it's done and dusted.
Yeah.
You know, we should have gone for it from the start. We should have gone for it. But he didn't. We sat.
Well,
back
let's just hope that on Tuesday, right, on the show on Tuesday here, Spurs fans are saying exactly the same about their performance at Chelsea. Let's just hope for that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I just want to say, Pards, you know, you're an absolute legend, mate, for taking us up when we beat Preston in the playoffs. It was absolutely superb that day.
We had a few trips down to Cardiff, didn't we?
Mate.
Yeah.
We're all frustrated, but you know, it is what it is. But
you'll be back. We'll be back, even if we go down. But we're not down yet.
You're not done yet.
No,
we're not done yet.
We're not down yet, mate. We're not down yet. So,
That's it.
You know, fingers crossed. Let's hope.
Let's get to Sunday. Yep. Top man.
Absolutely.
Cheers, Steve.
Mate.
Cheers, Steve. Have a good evening.
Oh, you're not done yet.
No.
You're not done yet, but Spurs are 1 clean sheet away from staying in the Premier League.
When's the last time Spurs got a clean sheet?
This is true. That's why I'm
Start
saying
throwing that at me.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We're 1 clean sheet away from staying in the Premier League.
Well, that's what they have to do.
Keep a clean sheet then.
If Spurs can keep a clean sheet, they stay in the Premier League.
Try and go to Stamford Bridge and get a clean sheet.
Look how Saints game. Where's your Einstein? Come
on, the Hammers.
Where's your Einstein?
I'm with Pep. Come on, Pep.
It finishes at St James's Park this afternoon. 3-1 to Newcastle.
Well done to Newcastle, by the way, because it's jumped them up the league. They're at the same points as Chelsea. Ironically, it just goes to show you that the season's been really fragmented. They've had that European campaign that actually they played very well in Europe, and unfortunately the league programme took a hit. But I'm sure they'll be back next year. Well done to them.
And check this out, Jake. Pardew not going to acknowledge that Sunderland could finish 8th. Well, this is the thing now. The last day of the season for that Newcastle-Sunderland rivalry means Newcastle could finish above Sunderland now.
Yeah, Sunderland are at home to Chelsea. Looking at Sunderland today, you might expect them to win that. And Newcastle are away to, my team when I was a young bupper, Fulham, which won't be easy, but I'm quite fancy Newcastle to win that, if I'm honest. So we'll see if Sunderland can turn Chelsea over. They will finish above the two.
03717223344. Especially want to hear from West Ham fans travelling back from St James's Park. It's a long old journey. You listen to The Final Word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. All your favourite games all in one place. 18 plus gambler. Where.org.
We've got Jason Bourne sitting in front of the back three.
What goes over the top?
Yeah, but Jason Bourne's just going to eat everyone up.
You've got Shaggy running in behind George.
Shaggy didn't make the team. You binned him.
Who's there?
Talkie, Jaws and Scooby-Doo.
Okay. All right, fine, okay.
All right, here we go, boys. Well done, everyone. This is a good team. Our Spy Sports Bar 11. In goal, we've got Octopussy.
Tell us why.
Well, it's just good arms. Good arms.
They're not...
Back three.
Arms and legs.
We've got the back three, the walkie-talkie, Jaws, and Scooby-Doo. Solid back three.
I'm happy with that.
Up and down Scooby-Doo, walkie-talkie, good community, and Jaws, edit and kick it. Jason Bourne in midfield, eating everyone up with the binoculars for vision in the middle of the pitch. Inspector Gadget, playing number 10. The main man, does everything. He's got the lot. Johnny English, out left. Can go missing. Can be a bit of a mess, but he always comes up with something. Right wing, the Maverick. Got the mojo, Austin Powers. And then up front, we've got the fake moustache, he's good in the box. And we've got James Bond, because he shoots to kill. That is
I think we pulled it together, you know.
Bar 11 on spying. All right, and we're going to carry this on, by the way, guys, because up next, it gets better. We are joined by former British military intelligence officer Philip Ingram to tell us where it all went wrong for Southampton and Spygate.
Get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win.
Now, do you fancy £25,000?
Yes, please.
In your hand, completely tax-free. You can't enter odds. At talkSPORT, our competition just got a whole lot bigger, with even more prizes up for grabs to give you that winning feeling to celebrate. We're giving you the chance to win that big one, the £25,000. But hurry, entries close Monday at 4 p.m. And here's what you have to do. For your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to the word Text the word win to 83338. I'm getting so excited I can barely read. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. That's 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by Monday 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. For full T's and C's, head over to talksportwin.com. Your chance to win £25,000. Text the word win to 83338 now.
Hold on a minute. I don't get that. What? So how are you going to win that 25,000? You just got to wait for a call.
Yep.
Someone's going to ring you from talkSPORT. Go.
They go, hello, this is Terry from talkSPORT. You just won £25,000.
Oh, okay.
And then you go, £25,000 plus the tax, yeah? I'm gonna have nothing left. No, it's tax-free, baby. 25 smackaroonies in your pocket.
No 40% tax there.
All right, let's go. Let's get the latest from the PGA Championship. From the legend, talkSPORT's voice of golf, Rupert Bell.
PGA Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
Oh, Majestic, I'm just going to tell you one. On Friday night, you spent the entire night pretending you were a Brumley. Now you're pretending you're a Cockney. So I don't know where you're from, Majestic. What I will tell you, there's a man on a mission in the US PGA, and that is Jon Rahm, because he has opened up in the most fantastic fashion, opening up with 2 birdies to now be in a share of the lead with Alex Smalley, who's played his first hole in par, pretty regulation par for the American who's never won on the PGA Tour, playing only in his 5th major. But Jon Rahm trying to close out and win his 3rd major and become the first Spaniard to win the US PGA. A perfect start for him. Rory McIlroy, an early birdie, has got him to 4 under. But there are 3 players on 5 under, including Wolverhampton's Aaron Rai. Good birdie early on for the man, trying to become the first Englishman to win the US PGA since 1919. But he's very much in the hunt. Justin Thomas is in the position to post a good number. He's 5 under for his round, playing the 18th, but you just feel with the benign conditions that it probably won't be enough. Ludwig Øyberg is also on 5 under, the Swede with an early birdie. Rory McIlroy, as I say, is at 4 under. Elsewhere, Justin Rose, he's having birdie chances, but the putts aren't falling. He's 1 under for his round and at 3 under. Scotty Scheffler, the world number 1, his putter's been cold all week. He's at 2 under, and you feel that with the way the course is playing, he's probably not in a position to defend his title here. At the moment, a 2-way tie for the lead. Jon Rahm and Alex Smalley.
Thank you very much, Rupert. Let's quickly head over to another West Ham caller. We've got Mohammed who joins us on the show. Hello, Mohammed.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Alan. Hi, Madge. How you doing?
How you feeling, mate?
Not too good, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, just deflated after that performance.
I mean, the first goal was a shocker. The goalkeeper, distribution and the decision by the defender was awful.
Really awful. Yeah. As soon as that goal went in, I thought it was a long way back now from there. I know it's too bad. And this is my first time calling as well, and I thought it'd be under happier circumstances as well, but it's just how it is.
Well, listen, we thank you for making your first call on talkSPORT with us, Mohammed. That means a lot to us. What do you think's gone wrong this season for West Ham? Is it the start? Is it, changing the manager? And, because Nuno's managed to get some form of tune in the end out of the West Ham boys. And you've shown, after that victory you got against Spurs, it's like you picked up points and you had a bit of fight about you. Do you think it was just such a slow start that it's just caught up with you?
Yeah, it was a mixture of many things. I think when we were 2-0 up against Bournemouth early on in the season, when Callum Wilson scored those both goals, I think that cost that game, and especially the Chelsea game and many other games, Leeds and Brentford, when Nuno first started, I think those matches cost us in the end, really.
Yeah, because he didn't have he sort of had a slow start, really, didn't he? And then he sort of took a while to kick in. But, when you look at the playing staff, I go back to that team that I inherited. You can go down with good players. If the structure's not right. I wish we had you back, Alan, though. Sorry?
I wish we had you back, Alan.
Yeah, well, I wish I could go back. But, at the moment, I'm still hoping for the gambit that is going to be Sunday. And that Spurs get beat by Chelsea on Tuesday. Let's see. So I haven't given up complete hope yet. I'm still in there, Mohammed. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully if Spurs lose their both games and we just nick a win at Leeds, hopefully, I don't know. I can hope, really.
Yeah, well, I like to stay on the positive. Let's just stay there at the moment rather than condemn them at the moment and say what went wrong, because it isn't over just yet. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's true as well. Just hopeful on Sunday. Just a little bit of hope, really.
Will you be going, Mohammed? Will you going? Which end do you sit in?
Oh, I didn't go, to be honest. I never actually.
No, next Sunday.
I used to live in West Midlands, and I was a West Ham fan from West Midlands, and that's why.
Well, that's a bit difficult then to get the game.
I bet right now you wish you have a claret blue. They're going to a cup final on Wednesday.
I used to get a lot of stick at school as well. They said you sported the wrong claret and blue, but I still, yeah.
Listen, I respect your loyalty, Mohammed, and listen, it's not over yet. It is not over yet. As a Spurs fan, I can tell you and assure you, it's not over yet. No. I've seen it. Right, coming up next, we'll discuss
enough of Spurs over the last 2 years to know that.
Yeah, coming up next, we'll discuss managers Xavi Alonso and Arne Slot, and we'll be reflecting on the sad passing of the Scottish Rugby International, Scott Hastings. But for now, the phone lines are open for you to have your say on 03717 22 3344.
So what? Listen, Middlesbrough went 1-0 up, Jamie.
He's right.
Right, they played brilliant. The first half, we scored an equaliser, right, and that done it. That put it to bed, because the second half we come out flying, mate. Middlesbrough had nothing. They were leggy. They were gone.
I think the rule is if you're going to cheat, don't get caught.
What? What's that?
The rule is you're going to cheat.
Is that your analysis of?
I think
Spygate.
I think well,
if you're going to cheat, don't get caught.
Well, I think if you cheat, no, rule number one, don't get caught. Can't get caught cheating, mate. Can you?
You can't say that, mate.
Well, you can.
You can't. You can't.
I don't think it's cheating.
What do you mean?
Just don't get caught.
What do you mean? It's cheating.
It's not cheating.
It is a form of cheating.
It's not a form of cheating, but if you are cheating, don't get caught.
Is texting another woman cheating?
What are you saying to her?
Well,
you tell me what I'm saying, I'll tell you it's cheating.
We're just having a little chat. We're having a,
No, it's not cheating.
We're having a little chat. A bit flirty.
Well, okay, what am I saying? You give me the context of the text, and I'll tell you it's cheating.
Say, I see you at the bar the other day. I got your number, and I thought I'd give you a message. I thought you look really pretty.
That's not cheating in my book.
You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace.
Oh, that's not cheating, is it?
What do you mean? It's a form of cheating.
It's not.
It is.
No, it's not. It's fine.
You can't get away with that.
No, I think you wouldn't.
You can't get
no,
away
but here's
with
the thing. I ain't got caught. Delete the text. Delete the text. Delete the text.
What's your club or country's sliding doors moment? Its meaning originating from the 1998 rom-com of the same name, a sliding doors moment in football terms is simply a question of what might have been. An incident in a game where, had it gone the other way, would have altered history. For example, say John Terry had scored that penalty in Moscow in 2008. Chelsea would have been European champions and Avram Grant would have the biggest medal in continental club football to his name. It stands to reason then that he would have stayed at Stamford Bridge for a bit longer, meaning that Luis Felipe Scolari wouldn't have got a look in. Would he have done better than the World Cup winning Brazilian, who only lasted till February the following year? And could he have improved upon Chelsea's third place finish? And as for United, who won the title that season, would defeats in that Moscow final have led to Cristiano Ronaldo leaving the club for Real Madrid a year earlier? And would that have meant that Rafa Benitez's Liverpool won the Premier League instead of them? That's a pretty big butterfly effect, all from one missed penalty kick going the other way. And if you want to dig a bit deeper, there's plenty more that could have been affected. What if Anthony Knockaert had scored his penalty against Watford? We'd have been denied the Troy Deeney moment, sure, but might Leicester have gone on to win promotion to the Premier League earlier than scheduled? And would that have meant that Claudio Ranieri would never make it to the King Power? Would Arsenal or Tottenham, therefore, have been champions in 2016? The most significant sliding doors moment perhaps ever, though, was Paul Gascoigne, Wembley, June 1996. What if this had gone in? That golden goal would have sent England to the Euro 96 final against Czech Republic. 30 years of hurt could well have come to an end. There's so many of these moments that could have altered destiny forever. What if Shearer had signed for United? Would Lampard's ghost goal against Germany have kick-started England's World Cup back in 2010? What if Sam Allardyce didn't get bogged down in all that controversy and denied Gareth Southgate the England job? Does make you think.
Welcome to the Final Word phone-in on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, alongside the former West Ham boss, Alan Pardew. The record-breaking Final Word. We set our own records and then we break them, Pards.
Well, that's, we had a good run. Let's hope it continues.
Indeed. And the phone lines are still open for you to have your say after a huge day in the Premier League. I especially want to hear from West Ham fans as you head down south after that 3-1 defeat against Newcastle, which leaves you on the brink of relegation. Later in the show, we'll be talking about a huge week in the title race, Xabi Alonso taking the reins at Chelsea, and an eventful weekend for Liverpool, including some online messages from certain players. But before we get back to the phone lines, Pards, you know what time it is, don't you? 8 o'clock on a Sunday?
I got a feeling.
Yeah.
I got a feeling. It's quiz time.
It is the quiz time. It's very simple. Follow the 3 songs leading to who our mystery player is. The songs could relate to their name, their nationality, or even a famous London team they used to play for. So right now, from the half-timers, Mr. DJ Marco, play that tune. Ah, what a tune. You know this one, Pards?
This is it.
Muse and Starlight.
Yeah, I've never liked this song.
You never liked this song?
Really? Selecta.
Selecta.
Proper song, this one.
Whitney Houston, I Always Love You. Club legend and one club man, it says here. Matt Bellamy, Starlight. Arthur Dodger and Rewind with Craig David. And I Always Love You, Whitney Houston. If you think you know the answer, text us 81089 or send us a WhatsApp for free on 03717 223344.
We didn't give out many clues there, did we?
No, we're going
to sit on the fence for now.
Yeah.
Let's sit on the fence.
Do you like Muse? The first tune I played?
Yeah, not I don't know much about them, if I'm honest. Yeah? Proper band.
Probably my favourite band of all time.
How long have they been going?
Since, well, they've been probably going about 96, 97.
Okay, a good old stint of it.
Yeah, I think they came into sort of the mainstream about 99.
Okay.
Great records. Great live band. And the lead singer, Matt Bellamy, he was with Goldie Hawn's daughter. Kate Hudson, isn't it?
Kate Hudson.
Yeah, they have
very beautiful girl.
Very beautiful. they have a child together.
Oh, that's very nice. Are they still together, or are they not?
Unfortunately not.
No, it's a rock and roll
relationship. But they were. I think they might even be married. But yeah, Matt Bellamy, if you are listening, you're my hero. And one day I wish to meet you.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. You never sampled one of their songs?
No,
Not allowed.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it to myself. I'm not ruining a Muse song.
Okay.
Right, we've got so many people trying to get hold of us right now, Pards.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to give that number out now, and I'm going to let everyone that's listening to talkSPORT right now know that the lines are open. It's 03 717 223344. Pards, can you give that number out?
No, I wasn't listening.
03.
One's part of this group has to think.
Yeah, that's you.
That's me.
I talk.
You do the numbers.
03 717 223344. Spurs or West Ham?
Let's go Spurs.
Okay, let's go to Glenn.
How
Hello,
confident
Glenn.
they are.
Hello, mate. Could you not put some PJ and Duncan in instead of Artful Dodger for me?
Well, I was going to do the rest of the show in the voice of a Geordie, but I got told off on Friday for my Broomy accent.
Oh,
and then Rupert Bell's accused me of being a Cockney.
Yeah, well, you're good at accents, to be fair.
Listen, I can do Trump if you want me to be.
And I love Trump.
Glenn,
not my favourite, but you do Trump very well.
Glenn, you're the Tottenham. Are you going to win against the Chelsea?
No, and I don't think we need to.
Tell us why.
I think the shocking run is just going to continue, and it don't matter now. So I just wanted to say thanks to West Ham for being even more crap than we are. I watched the game and it was absolutely shocking. Like, consider how bad these two clubs have been run. I'm just very grateful that they couldn't put a goal in a barn door, to be honest.
Yeah, we've been fortunate. Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, apart from obviously that little stint they had after they scored that first goal, they come close again. A little penalty call.
Do you know what? I was just thinking there when listening to Glenn about the performances of West Ham and Spurs. If you actually had the selection of both sets of squads, you'd struggle to make a team that could get in the top 10. That's how bad the recruitment's been, wouldn't you?
Completely.
I think we do have to take into account Spurs' injuries this season.
Oh, there we go.
We have to. You cannot not. You can't not have Kulusevski and Maddison for a whole season and not think that's going to impact your season, Parts. Come on.
Pards, can I ask you then, with your West Ham hat on, did you not think Souček was a penalty for a handball?
Yeah, I did actually. He definitely moved his arm towards the ball, didn't he?
Did you think Maddison
very
was
fortunate.
last game?
Say that again, sorry?
Did you think Maddison was last game and all?
Yeah, I did actually, yeah. I'm not just saying that because you brought them up. I actually thought both were penalties, yeah. But we were having one of those periods. I mean, that Celtic decision with the handball and, the West Ham goal that was disallowed. There's been some real kind of grey area, horrible decisions that could have either gone either way, I think.
And you know what, Pards, as you say, and Glenn's alluding to Maddison winning that penalty, he came on for 10, 15 minutes. Not only I thought he's going to just rise the crowd, he straight away made such an impact, right?
Yeah.
And I remember me and you sitting there watching Spurs Palace, was like, this game needs a Maddison.
Yeah.
He came on and we gave him man of the match that day. He is instrumental.
How did you claim injuries again?
Yeah. But we need to work out going into next season why and how this keeps happening, because it can't go on again. Because we have, let's be right, we've even
2 years of this.
2 years of this.
Yeah.
It can't go on. It can. It can.
I do firmly believe, though, for top 7 next year with De Zerbi, if they actually back him, I think this is another sliding doors moment for, like, when Potts didn't get backed. I know it's the same Muppets in charge, but surely, you must be able to look at that squad now and consider, like, when, I can't remember if it was Alderweireld or Vertonghen when they were going to leave and he ended up staying. Does that not remind you of Mickey van der Ven? Get him a decent partner, same sort of thing. Like,
I'd say this, Glenn. This is where I think the attitude of the owner should be. Right? Let's just say they stay up. They're actually going to have a bonus of 300 million. That's how much they would have lost.
Wow.
That's I mean, over the two, to go down and come back up, I would put it around 300 million, right, with your revenue and your TV money and etc. So why not use that as a positive and say, right, okay, well, we haven't lost that. Let's invest a little bit to the hilt, I would say.
You know a bit more about this than me. Would that be able to go straight into not the first 11? Obviously, it would need to be that, but would that translate into straight away they can just whack that into the transfer if they so choose, or does it not as easy as that?
No, because that's what the hit would have been, right? If they had gone down. Of course, they haven't gone down. But what I'm saying is the psychology of actually saving that money, if that makes sense, would be to go for whatever your entitlement is left, i.e., with the fair play rules, where your funds are, go to the absolute max of it to make sure that you start the season well. That's what I would do.
Great call. Thank you very much, Glenn. I tell you what, we've got a West Ham fan who's been at the game today. Let's go straight over to Tom. He's on the way home. How are you, Tom?
Hello, boys. You all right? How you doing?
Yeah, how you feeling after that? A little deflated?
Gutted, man. Gutted. Absolutely devastated. We are done. It is finished. I don't know, understand it. I like pause. Listen, I love your enthusiasm, but we are done. It's over. Mate, and we deserve it. Listen, we've had games this season. Chelsea 2-0 up, 3-2 loss. Bournemouth 2-0 up, 2-2 draw. We were only selves to blame. We are finished. Today, tactics all wrong. We set up wrong. Players walking around like they don't give a monkey's. Bowen, non-existent for the last 5-6 games. I'm not interested. Listen, I'm done. This is finished. We are going to go to the Championship, and I'm telling you now, we'll struggle to get out of it. We're going to lose everyone who's half decent. Fernandez.
Well, Fernandez, you definitely won't be taking him down there. No.
They're all going to go, and that's it. And I've been up and down the country all season, and they don't give a monkey's.
Well, I mean, I do sympathise, Tom, with you because I hear what you're saying. There's the games that you should have done so much better in when you was in commanding positions. And today, 26 minutes in, a tactical substitution. It wasn't an injury. It was a tactical substitution because it was wrong. The three centre-backs was just a bad decision today.
Mate, should never have set up five at the back.
No.
I was in a bar with loads of Newcastle fans before, and they didn't give a damn if they won today or they lost because they saw the benefit of us winning and Spurs going down. I didn't speak to one fan that said, do you know what, I'd be happy if Newcastle won today. And all of a sudden, we're sitting there 25 minutes in, we're 2-0 down. It's done. It's over. Spent 6 hours on the car up here this morning for nothing.
Yeah, and you got a long journey home too. Where are you now? Whereabouts are you, roughly?
I don't know. Well, all I know is we're 4.5 hours from home. So,
God, blimey.
On the motorway, miserable, listening to you boys, listening to Majestic be nice and positive about Tottenham. It's finished. We're over.
Tom, safe journey, my friend, and you've got us to keep you company on that journey home, mate. And you'll hear other West Ham fans come and have to say, but it's not over. Because you know what? That can
it's hard though when you're driving up 6 hours. Watch that, 100%. And then driving up. You can imagine where he is.
And you know what?
Psychology is
for the last 3 games, it's been advantage Spurs afterwards every time, and we've gone after them, which is it's not unfair, but it's how it's ended up, right?
Just how it ends.
And that game where it was Wolves and Spurs and Everton, West Ham, and we went up. It was like, we're at the bottom 3, and then they came back. Pendulum swung back in their favour, and then that Villa result for us.
But the pendulum's not moving now, is it? Oh. You know that result you had the other day was like, wow, and you could have got beat right at the death.
Well, Spurs didn't throw away the game on Monday night. It would have been done by now. I said that. Mystic Madge said everything. The only thing that went wrong is Leeds come and ruin the party with a penalty. Rubbish. Right, 03717223344. Kick off with Natalie Sawyer. We'll have all the goals as they go in. Spurs just need a point against Chelsea, and Man City travel to Bournemouth in their must-win game to stay in the title race.
That ain't an easy game, is it?
It's not. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about a very different weekend for Xabi Alonso and Onslaught. You listen to the final word on talkSPORT with Sky Vegas. It all starts with a spin. 18+, gambleaware.org.
as we alluded to yesterday, Southampton are likely to face a sporting sanction if they're found guilty of spying charges. As a result, they could end up being thrown out of the playoff final to be replaced in that final by Middlesbrough instead, the team that they put out last night at the semi-final second leg stage. We said we'd look into this more thoroughly from a financial, legal expert point of view, and the very man who fits that bill is sitting to my right. Stefan Borsten joins us live in studio. And Stefan, good morning to you.
Hi.
We'll get into how this may or may not play out in the courts. Is there a precedent, Stefan, for chucking a team out of the playoffs?
Well, it happened to Swindon, but it was different. Well, not in terms of the playoffs, but in terms of sort of annulling the promotion. But it was a different situation. I mean, there's no situation where you've had it all come to a head within this small window around the playoffs. In terms of spying / espionage, there's really very few cases anywhere in football in respect of this. So you've got the Leeds situation that we know about, where it was systematic. They ended up with a £200,000 fine. And effectively, the other part of the sanction was to vote in favour of the rule that then came in. This rule that we're now talking about in terms of the 72-hour rule. That was part of the agreement on that. So that brought the rule in. The only other case is actually from the from the Olympics with Canada's women's team. And FIFA in 2024 docked them 6 points.
But I will go down with this shit, and I won't put my hands up.
That's for you.
No, that's not.
You will go down with the shit, mate. You're going down with West Ham.
Poor record. It's not over yet. I keep telling you.
It's not over yet. I thought I'd throw that in just for you, Pards. I can see you. I knew you'd react. He's got his West Ham colours on today. He's been backing the boys. He even went against his old Newcastle club, wanting West Ham to win, but it finished at St James's Park, 3-1 for Newcastle United and Kieran Trippier's last outing at St James's Park. An emotional farewell for Kieran Trippier, who is 35 now.
Yeah, and well done to him.
Yeah, well
Give
done.
him a little round
Do
of
you know
applause.
what? He was unfairly treated at Spurs.
Really?
Yeah. Because he came off the back of Kyle Walker. There was a season when they kind of shared it.
Right.
And then he came in. He had, I think his first season was quite good. Then his second season wasn't so good. And everyone's like, get him out. And be careful what you wish. Yeah, there was.
Wow.
Be careful what you wish for.
I've always liked him. Always.
Good player. Good lad as well, Trips.
Yeah.
Good lad. And what a goal he scored for England.
Yeah. I mean,
Great free kick, wasn't it?
He always did well for England, I thought.
We have got so many grassroots football results coming in. So the team are going to gather them. And we're going to read out some of those grassroots results. But now, before we talk about the new Chelsea boss, it's time to get all the latest from the PGA Championship from talkSPORT's voice of golf, Rupert Bell.
PGA Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
Well, it's still absolutely all to play for. Alex Smalley, the overnight leader, has just hit a wonderful par-saving putt at his last hole. He seemed to be in trouble, but he's held a monster putt to stay out in front after John Rahm dropped a shot at the third hole to slip back to 5 under, where there are plenty of players ganging up to challenge his lead. Justin Thomas is in the clubhouse after his 65 at 5 under, but ultimately you feel that may not be enough to lift his third Wanamaker trophy. But Aaron Rai has bounced back after a bogey to be back at 1 under for his round at 5 under. Ludwig Oiberg is also 5 under, 1 under for his round, and another one has just moved to plenty of other players trying to close in on that mark. Justin Rose is not too far, although he's just dropped a shot to slip back to 2 under. And Scotty Scheffler you feel his challenge is done. So John Rahm, though, with that bogey, just as he tries to close in on his third major title and become the first Spaniard to win the US PGA. But Alex Smalley holding on to the lead, but must be looking over his shoulder at the challengers.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Rupert. 03717223344. The manager merry-go-round is time to talk about now, as the FA Cup final meant Manchester City beat Chelsea a goal to nil. The Man City deserve it first, Pards?
Yeah, I think so. I think they did enough in the game to warrant the win. It was a great goal, wasn't it? Fantastic goal. And Semenyo, one of the players of the season. I don't think he was player of the season. You know, I think we were all sort of fixed on Fernandes for that one. But Semenyo, outstanding at Bournemouth. What attributes he brings to a team. And he just hit the ground running with Man City, did he? Had no settling in period, straight in. And that's why we kept talking about bringing foreign players to the Premier League. Why don't you just go and shop in the Premier League? The best players at those smaller clubs, teams like Spurs can go and pilfer some of the better players. And then you know you got a cast iron player rather than take a gamble on a German player at the Bundesliga or La Ligue 1 or La Liga. No.
Yeah, that makes a lot.
Or even the Championship. I still think Championship majorly overlooked.
Well, really and truly, that's where Gyökeres came from. I know he went obviously via
of course.
Portugal.
Yeah, to go to Sporting Lisbon and, ruffle a few feathers out there to get his move to Arsenal.
Xabi Alonso's the new Chelsea boss on a 4-year contract that starts on July the 1st, 2026. Do you think he's the man suited for the job, Pards?
Well, do you know what? I think this might work out all right. And I think Blue and Co, or wherever they call themselves, are about to hand over some power. There's no way Alonso's taking that job under the remit of what Liam was sort of employed as. He's obviously gone in there and said, look, okay, I'm a big hitter. I've probably got a choice of 3 or 4 clubs. If you want me, this is the sort of power that I want at this football club. And they've had to take that on board, and quite rightly so, because the guy obviously knows what he's doing. He's just coming out of Real Madrid. Okay, that didn't go so well, but his tenure at Bayer Leverkusen was absolutely outstanding, and the football they played was terrific. I think he's he's got a great personality for Chelsea, because he strikes me as a committed, hard-working, grounded kind of guy. And I think if ever there was a manager that needed at Chelsea with them attributes, it's now.
Yeah.
So let's hope and I think it's a great signing.
Well, never forget what Liam Rosenior said. In English, manage, if you split the 2 words, is man and age. So you're aging men.
Well, okay. Liam had some moments. I mean,
that was a David Brent moment.
Yeah, it was a bit of a David Brent moment. But, we all have them as managers, so I'm not going to chastise him for that.
I'm not chastising him for it. I just thought it was brilliant.
I want him to. I hope he gets back in the game. Yeah, I'm sure he will.
He's a good manager.
He will learn from that experience, because I think he had some moments, particularly with the press, which he probably could have done a little bit better and played a calmer hand or whatever. But anyway, Alonso's in there. I think that's great for Chelsea. I really do. I think they've got the manager that will give them a foundation. What players want is a foundation to perform. Once they got a rich foundation, then they can start flapping their wings. But if you're fighting and fighting in sea oil, you can't flap your wings, and that's what they've been doing.
I like that, fighting seal. Right, Liverpool. Now let's turn our attention to Liverpool and their 4-2 defeat against Aston Villa, and Mo Salah taken to Instagram. Did you see what he said on Instagram, Pards?
Yeah, have you got the quotes there?
I have. I'll read it to you if you want.
Yeah.
I have witnessed this club go from doubters to believers, and from believers to champions. It took hard work, and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Nothing makes me prouder than that. Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful, and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear, and back to being a team that wins trophies. This is the football I know how to play, and that is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It cannot be negotiable, and everybody wants that for the club, and anybody that joins the club should adapt to it. Winning some games here and there is not what Liverpool should be about. all teams win games. Liverpool will always be a club that means a great deal to me and my family. I want to see it succeed for a long time after I've moved on. As I've always said, qualifying to next season's Champions League is the bare minimum, and I will do everything I can to make that happen. Saying a lot.
Well, it's
saying a lot.
If I was Arne Slot with that, it is like a knife in your back. That one, that's going to hurt. And I think it got liked by a couple of other players, didn't it, in the squad, which is
never fun.
Not good news. That's a tough thing to take as a manager when it is criticism of the style, and the heavy metal reference is obviously related to Klopp. And what he did at the football club. I do think there's some intensity that's come out of the team. That's evident. Whether that's being reflected in training and mirrored onto the football pitch, that's what I would suspect. So it's going to be a tough week for Arne Slot, to get through the last game and to get himself to the summer where he knows he's going to have to really, really start the season strong next year if he stays.
Here's some of the names that liked that tweet. Hugo Ekitike, Andy Robertson,
new player,
Szoboszlai, Endo, Harvey Elliott, Roberto Firmino, and Jordan Henderson.
Well,
is this a potential boot room rebellion, Pards?
I wouldn't say it is certainly a kick in the teeth for the manager. There's no doubt about that. There's no way you can walk into training tomorrow and sort of just pretend everything's okay. That's painful. And if I was him, I would get a few lieutenants in my office and say, look, I'm not particularly happy about those comments. What's it all about? Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's, try and address it. You can't ignore it. It's noise that's coming from within his dressing room. It's not like noise from ex-players, is it?
No.
That's the difference.
Right, next up, we're going to be discussing the sad passing of Scottish rugby legend Scott Hastings, as well as the quiz that's still to come. Loads to come before the Euro Trans Express rolls into town. 0371722 344.
You've got Madonna, Shakira and BTS are going to headline the halftime show at this summer's World Cup final on July the 19th. The halftime show during last summer's Club World Cup in the United States between Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain lasted more than 24 minutes. This is going to be the first time that there has been a halftime show at a World Cup final. I've got a terrible feeling that you're going to tell me you have no problem with this.
No, I haven't got an issue with it.
Oh, God.
But then I'm used to... Listen, I love American sports. People know that. I love American sports. I love the Super Bowl halftime show. Of course, it's not going to be for everyone, and I get that. I've got no issue with that at all. But what they're going to have to do is make sure that they've got plenty of bikes in the dressing rooms, the warm-up areas to keep the legs moving, because I've been to halftime, 24 minutes, that is long. Especially when the intensity of the game, then you go in and you cool down a little bit, and then you talk about 24 minutes, 25 minutes before you get yourself back out there. They have to keep warming.
Aaron, when you say that you love American sports and you therefore don't mind the intrusion of a halftime show, I kind of get it. I went to a Super Bowl. Snoop Dogg was there.
That was unbelievable, that one.
Yeah, and that was great because it was a Super Bowl. But I wouldn't necessarily want that at an FA Cup final. I think when you buy into the American experience, you get the American experience. Why are we getting the American experience in a game that doesn't necessarily need one?
Probably because it's in America. I think if it was elsewhere, it probably wouldn't be. That wouldn't be the case because it's in America.
Although we started to get it in Champions League finals, haven't we? We've had Dua Lipa at a Champions League final.
Yeah, you know, I get it. It's not for everyone, and I've got no argument. If people come on here and say, "Nah, it's rubbish. I hate it," then listen. You're going to get no argument from me. I just quite like it. But then also as well, it depends on the act. Like, listen, Shakira. I know a couple of her songs. Madonna, I'm not a fan of Madonna. I know she's a legend, but that's not my cup of tea.
Scott Hastings. That was a try-saving tackle if ever there was one. Scott Hastings, who did such tremendous tackling work for the Scots against Wales at Cardiff. And once again there, Rory Underwood was escaping. Another lovely ball, Laidlaw Cram. There's a real overlap here as State goes. Gavin Hastings, Scott Hastings, a try for Scotland. Out to Scott Hastings, and Scott Hastings has scored. Oh, what a magnificent try that was.
Good evening, you are listening to the Final Word phone-in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, and former West Ham Newcastle manager Alan Pardew, and it's sad for us now to turn our attention to this. Earlier today we broke the news that legendary Scottish rugby international Scott Hastings sadly passed away at the age of 61. Hastings won 65 caps for Scotland over 11 years, a record at that time, represented the British and Irish Lions on 12 occasions on 2 tours and played 13 games for the Barbarians. He was inducted into the Scottish Rugby Hall of Fame just last October. In a statement on Sunday, his son Corey and daughter Kerry-Ann said, "We are saddened to inform you that Scott passed away peacefully surrounded by family on the morning of Sunday, the 17th of May. This also marked his late wife Jenny's birthday, which speaks louder than words that he is safe and with his beloved Jenny." Scott was undergoing cancer treatment and due to complications deteriorated extremely quickly. Despite the efforts by an incredible team at the Western General ICU, he passed away peacefully and pain-free. Let's now bring in the former Scottish Rugby international captain and Scott's teammate, Brian Redpath. Hello, Brian. How are you, mate?
Hi, gents. How are you?
Our deepest condolences, my friend, first and foremost. Listen, we just want to get from you, a teammate and somebody who knew him well, how much of a legend in Scottish rugby is Scott?
Yeah, I mean, Scott wasn't just about Scottish rugby. It was world rugby. He was a Scottish hero. Watsonians, Scotland, the Barbarians, as you mentioned, the British Lions. He was, he came from a rugby family, obviously, with his brother Gavin. Yeah. And he was just a true warrior of the game. Scott was a really tough, hard centre back in the day, and it's tragic news this morning that comes out for us all to hear this morning.
What was he like to play with? In terms of his personality, give us a little flavour of what he was like in the dressing room. And
he was a bundle of energy. Scotty was, because most people. You can remember both of Gavin and Scott playing in the same team with the national team, the Lions. Scott was this person, just full of energy. He never rested. He was tough. He was probably really reckless. Didn't care about his body. He was just, he's a bit mad sometimes. But he was always the one that just had this little bit extra energy. I mean, he went even into the media side when he was commentating on games, and he had this love and enthusiasm for playing sport, playing the game. Now, whether that was in a pool table, darts board, playing touch rugby, Scotty was one that would be at the forefront of everything. And it's tragic news, obviously, this morning, and then obviously hearing about, obviously Jen, his wife, and Corey and the kids as well. So it's tragic. But like, as a person, as a man, as somebody that you would always want to have in your team, Scott Hastings would be that person that you would say he will fight for every single one of you, and it'll be a tragic loss for us all.
You mentioned like playing with him, and you both was in an era of the golden age with Scottish rugby. How influential was he on your own career, Brian?
Yeah, I got my first cap with Scotty against New Zealand in 1993, and as I say, he was the one that would just encourage you to move on the next job, and he was always the one that would just keep all the energy high. He would lead with example in terms of committing your physical side to the game, and Scotty was very tough in that front. He never shirked any physical confrontations. He loved that one-on-one combat kind of mentality. And he was just always supportive, even when he was retiring. I was captain Scotland at the time, and he was Scotty was done in that time, and he didn't want to give it up. He was a player that wanted to keep playing as long as he could at the highest level, and he was just one of the nicest men in the world. And we've all had it in sport. We all see people pass on, and tragically that he has done that this morning, and it was great to hear that he's with his family as well.
Brian, do you have an endearing memory of one of his games? There's like something that sticks in your mind about a performance that you can share with us?
It was more actually, I remember the 95 World Cup, and Gavin was retiring in that time, and they were very competitive together. And there was we were up by the poolside one day, and they were kind of wrestling with each other, and nobody wanted to give in who could throw each other in the pool. And then it was getting a little bit, this is like two brothers in the back garden again, not necessarily going to give in. So, every single game that I played with Scott was someone that I would want to be, I want to aspire to be. I wouldn't say there was a one-off game. But yeah, he'll be truly missed by everyone. Watsonians Rugby Club, Edinburgh Rugby Club, and Scotland and the Barbarians. And the man is his commentary days and his support that he's given to Doddy with MMD. Yeah. He was the president, and he's been involved in the board and made some big decisions, and given a lot of himself when he was struggling with cancer some years ago. He would still give everything to MMD, to Parkinson's, for Gavin's wife, Diane. So he was one of the men that would give more than take. And, I hope he's remembered for everything that he has given to people and the game of rugby.
Brilliant. We, once again, Brian, we are sorry for your loss, my friend, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. I'm sure you've got everyone messaging you, and we really appreciate your time.
Yeah, cheers, guys. You take care of yourselves as well.
Brian.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, boys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Brian Redpath there reflected on his former teammate, Scott Hastings, who sadly passed away this morning at the age of 61. Pards.
Tough boys, those, tough boys. When you're playing rugby at that level, and, I've had the pleasure of being invited a few times to training camps with those guys, and they're just real, like, men's men. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're a real inspiration.
Really appreciate Brian coming on a Sunday evening.
Absolutely. Tonight. Thanks, Brian. Great words.
Well, just once again, legendary Scottish Rugby International, Scottish Rugby Hall of Famer Scott Hastings sadly passed away at the age of 61, surrounded by his family this morning. Still to come, before we pass the baton to the Transit Express, we'll talk about a huge week in the Premier League title race. This is the final word. Phone in on talkSPORT.
Another developing story this morning coming out of Manchester United. Manchester United have reportedly reached out to other potential candidates, but wish to speak to Michael Carrick first. What do you read into that? Is the significant fact of that Carrick gets first dibs in speaking to those who will make the ultimate decision?
Well,
in other words, he's leading the way.
I find it strange how these things come out. Like, who is it leaking the fact that United have spoken or speaking to other candidates before they speak to Michael? I mean, it's bizarre, especially when you're talking about one of the biggest clubs in the world. Can they not do business? Can they not keep their own counsel? I find that a bit bizarre, but he's done really well. And, with the position they were in to where he's got them, you could argue he deserves another go at it and bring some players in the summer. And I wouldn't say that's a huge risk. The progression they've made under him, I'd give him another go. Yeah.
Yeah. Significant, Simon, that they want to speak to Carrick first.
Yeah, again, I don't know who's briefing in and whether it's coming from Carrick's side or whether it's coming from Man United's side as to the briefing in as to why Man United need. You can employ an England manager without anyone knowing about it, but they can't seemingly have a conversation amongst themselves without broadcasting it to the media. I don't understand why that is the case. I still think it's fraught with lots of questions that need to be asked and answered about the position of someone that becomes in moments of adversity. We've seen no moments of adversity for Carrick, really. He's done the job, so it makes it a conundrum.
Before we look ahead to a huge week of football, it is time to get all the ladies from the PGA Championship from talkSPORT's Voice of Golf, Rupert Bell.
PGA Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
Well, the unheralded Alex Smalley is still holding on to his lead. He's been brilliant on the greens all week, and that's what's kept him at the top of the leaderboard, because he's 6 under through 5 holes of his final round. But there are 6 players on 5 under par. Justin Thomas has completed his round at that mark after a 65. But Cameron Smith, former Open champion, who's on the Live Tour but hasn't been playing that brilliantly since he joined the Breakaway Tour, but he's found some form this week. He's 3 under for his round at 5 under through 11. Ludwig Øyberg is also on that mark, as is Canada's Nick Taylor. John Rahm is at 1 under for his round through 6. And Matti Schmidt, the German, is also 1 under through 5. Rory McIlroy, after an early birdie, has had chances, but nothing's really happened for him so far. Aaron Rai, sadly, has slipped back to 4 under for the championship. That's level par for his round. Justin Rose is not out of it, as he's now playing his final 9 holes, because he's at 3 under par, but he'll need to find some magic over what has proved over this week the difficult stretch of this course. But at the moment, Alex Smalley holding onto his lead at 6 under par.
Right now, before we reveal our mystery footballer and following Newcastle's beating of West Ham 3-1, both managers spoke to talkSPORT's Steve Harmison. We'll soon hear from Eddie Howe. But first, West Ham boss Nuno Espirito Santo gave his thoughts on the damaging defeat.
Yeah, I'm really pleased for Kieran today, because he'd have obviously had a lot of emotions running through him today. Last game, home game. But you want that to be a really positive experience for everybody, for him, for the supporters. He's given so much on the pitch, but I think everyone's seen that who's been at the games. It's more off the pitch, I think, that people, of course, don't see. His leadership in difficult moments for me is a standout. His intelligence with the changing room, with the dressing room. He's very, very good at steering people in the right direction and being a role model for the younger guys in terms of giving them advice. And he's regularly do that. He'll speak to people off his own accord to help them. So we're really going to miss him, as we are the other players departing. Emil Kraft's been an incredible servant for this football club over many years, very loyal, dependable. really, really good teammate and player. So it's always sad when players leave and they'll leave a big hole.
Yeah, we are upset with the result, upset with the performance and the need that we had, that we didn't achieve a chance that we missed. And the frustration is there. What we have to try is, we have a tough week ahead of us. Work, respect, and try to finish the season with dignity. Let's see what happens on Tuesday. Still possible, but realize that it's very difficult.
That was actually both managers there. We did get Eddie Howe and Nuno Espirito Santo reflecting on that damaging defeat. Obviously, Eddie really speaking about trips there and some of the players that are leaving Newcastle. What did you make of those comments from the managers?
Yeah, well, you know, that's genuine. You know, a lot of managers, you know, when you've had a player for 3 or 4 years, you get really tight to them. You're with them every day. You probably see them more than your wife. So they mean a lot to you. And when they leave, you like to think that you'll have a bond that will never break. And I'm lucky to share that with a lot of players. And that's a really lovely thing about football management, actually.
Yeah, what's it like when a player you've known for a few years leaves? Do you stay in touch, or?
No, you don't. It's not like you exchange numbers and WhatsApp each other every day. But you know, when you greet each other at a game or a social event or some sort of corporate event, you know, there's that muted kind of happy to, you know, you're instant kind of like, how are you, Gaffer? How are you? You're nice to see you. What you doing? Da 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 da. Oh, how's things? How's your kids? Oh, they're like 12 and 13 now. Oh, blimey, you know, it's all that, and it's nice just to catch up.
Right, it is now time to reveal our mystery football songs. So DJ football mystery footballer from the songs. DJ Marco, drop the beats. Muse with Starlight, and their front man is called Matt Bellamy, as I said. Matthew Bellamy. And Artful Dodger, Craig David, Rewind. You didn't like this record?
Not my favourite.
I love it. They're from where?
Ooh.
Southampton.
Oh.
And Craig David as well.
Oh.
And I Will Always Love You. I'll always love you. That was the clue.
Okay. So I'm guessing, yeah, I can see where this is going.
Matt, Southampton, I Will Always Love You.
Does that mean like Southampton will always love him?
And he will always love Southampton.
Am I allowed to give it out?
You are.
It's Letiz.
It is Matthew Letizier.
One of those very few players actually that was so gifted and didn't get enough England starts.
Same with Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah, but Letiz actually got a lot less starts than Glenn. He definitely deserved more. He had great talent.
Why is that?
I don't know. If obviously it was just before my time in terms of, I had a player's head on rather than a manager's head on. It's different. I couldn't really analyse, but some of the magical goals he got were just like off the scale.
If you are of a younger age and don't remember him,
it was always very good to me, by the way, when I was Southampton manager. So I just want to underline that.
Go on YouTube and just type Matt Letizier goals.
Yeah.
I've shown my son them.
The top 5 are like, no, only Messi could probably beat him in top 5.
And there's that one against Blackburn, which is just outside of the...
is that where he lifts it over the head? No, that's at the Dell. When he lifts
no, the one, it's over Tim Fowler's head. And Tim Flowers, sorry. And literally, Flowers falls in the back of the goal. It's top bins. It's just ludicrous.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to talk... The reason why we chose Southampton is... when the verdict is announced about what's happening.
Tuesday, is it?
Yeah. When we get the verdict on Tuesday, you'll hear it on talkSPORT. And all the EFL player finals will be live on talkSPORT next weekend. Check out our brilliant app for more information. We promised you grassroots scores, and we didn't disappoint. It is now time for this.
Grassroots football. Your devotion should be to the people who started you off at a very early age, running your football team, getting the oranges, making sure you're there in time.
All skills learned in the park, jumpers for goalposts. And there's all that joy and the beauty of the game.
Pardew, what's the score? Pardew, what's the score?
From the parks and pitches from around the country, this is the final word grassroots football results on talkSPORT.
Grassroots football results!
Right, so I've already doffed my cap to the Wormley Rovers under-9 Reds and the Blacks. The Blacks won as well yesterday. Got the Wormley Reds and the Wormley Blacks, and they both won their finals.
Is the Blacks the reserve team, or...?
No, they're both just two different teams.
I'm only asking.
But I will say...
It's rugby.
Wormley, big shout to Wormley FC. They had 8 finalists today. 6 out of 8 won.
Oh, very good.
Not bad for the club. Right, hi guys, love the show. Can I get a shout out for Houghton Athletic under-14s who won the Nederland International Cup yesterday in Denmark. I probably said that wrong, but I do apologise. They're a grassroots team near Luton who played against top academies and won. The tournament's a year above was won by Newcastle. We've got some great players coming through. Thank you. That's to Bobby. Big shout to Houghton Athletic under-14s.
And then we're going to Bulkington Next Gen under-8s. Finished their first season together, winning 7-0. So proud of the team. No cups or leagues, but a super season together. That's from Cy, the gaffer.
Big on the gaffer. Big shout to the Welwyn Garden City under-16 Cyclones for winning the Mid-Hearts Division 4 League Cup today.
Not easy to win that league.
They would have been over the same place we were this morning.
Would they?
That's where all the games were. So you had every age group from 8s to 18s.
Welwyn Garden City.
Yeah. So they won the Mid-Hearts Division 4 League Cup today, securing the league and cup double.
Lovely.
Thanks, Magin Pards. Keep up the good work. That's from Kopi.
Can I have a massive shout out to Rainhill United under-16s? They have won not just the league, but their cup final. Oh. Congratulations on an amazing winning double season. Kind regards, and that's from Darren.
Well done to everyone who's in finals today, and those that did lose the finals today as well. Well done for being there and getting there. You know, no one wants to be the runner-up, but sometimes you learn from it and you go again.
Runner-up 3 times in FA Cup.
Yeah.
Tough.
Still got there.
Tough to get there. Tough to lose.
That's your grassroots scores from Madge and Pards. How's that for timing? Right, speaking of timing, Arsenal take on Burnley live on talkSPORT tomorrow evening.
Oof, nervy.
Bournemouth Man City on Tuesday evening. Let's talk about the title race, Pards. You can't see anything than an Arsenal win with Burnley at the Emirates. Simple as, isn't it?
No, I just genuinely can't see Burnley standing up to the power of Arsenal in terms of the way they go about their game, and I think that will be fairly comfortable.
And Man City have a tough job going to Bournemouth.
They do. I've been to Bournemouth twice this year, and both times they've won, and both times, I'm talking about Bournemouth, and both times they've been excellent.
Yeah.
They're a really tough team. Be a tough night.
If Man City want to take it to the last day, they've got to go there. They've got to win.
Yep.
But Bournemouth currently sitting in a position where they could possibly get Champions League football, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, if Aston Villa go and
do the business,
yeah, then we get 6 teams in the. Is that correct? I'm sure
it's very, very complicated. I don't know if the Arsenal need to win for that to happen, but I'm sure there's some permutations.
I tell you what. Yeah.
All I do know is that Bournemouth have got a great chance of European football. Let's leave it at that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Great chance.
I tell you what, bringing it into the last day of the season. Say, for example, Bournemouth lose to Manchester City, right? Brentford, Brighton and Bournemouth all have a chance if Aston Villa is successful, and we'll know that before the last day of the season, of getting Champions League football. If Brentford get Champions League football after losing Thomas Frank, bringing in the set-piece coach that everyone said, they're going down.
Good enough.
He's not good enough. That brings us to our Keith Andrews and possibly Regis Lebris for Manager of the Year.
That's why I always think with that Manager of the Year, there's always these, permutations about this and that, Team of the Year. Let's wait to the end of the season. Why do we give out these awards before the end of the season? Let's get to the end of the season. We get next week is the end of the season.
You're like me, Pards. I can't make decisions until the end of the season.
I like to know who's done what. Have you actually won it? Have you got it across the line?
Yeah, absolutely. But we are dotting our cap to a few managers tonight. Iriola, one of them.
Yeah.
Keith Andrews, unbelievable. Regis Lebris, wow.
Labrie.
For bringing Sunderland up.
And handled himself particularly well, I think, with all his media duties as well. It's not easy, being manager of a club in the North East. You're constantly under the spotlight, and I think he's handled that very well.
Out to Dina, so good evening, Imagine Pards. A win for Leeds today. Come on, Leeds.
That stadium rocking in the last few games.
They've had a great season.
Yeah, gifted a goal today, by the way. I thought they're fortunate to win that one.
Daniel Farker, who's done his business this year.
Yeah, he came out with some strange comments this week.
He often does.
I don't know if he was.
I do like Farker.
No, but I think he had. I'm not sure he had a couple of tipples with the old red wine.
Oh, we're up in the Premier League here next year's season as well. It's going to be great.
We're gonna, yeah.
Right, that's all from us, Pards, and that's all from me this season of the Premier League.
Very well, yeah, but we got the summer to come.
We've got loads to come,
and I've got this all. I had all England banter today. I'll have to save that for next week.
Save that for next week. But I'm away next week because I've got DJ duties. But the Sports Breakfast Show returns tomorrow from 6 a.m. with Jeff Steadman alongside Arsenal legend Ray Parlour. And they'll be joined by one of the greatest England keepers in history, Big Dave.
Seaman.
Dave Seaman. Big Ants.
Big Ants.
And that is followed by the Gunners legend Martin Keown. Lots of Gunners everywhere. Yep. He'll be joining White and Jordan. But if you need some music in the morning, go to the talkSPORT app and swipe across to friend of the show, the brilliant Chris Evans on Virgin Radio. And there's another huge week of live football action on talkSPORT as Arsenal's crucial match against Premier League Burnley tomorrow evening. And then Aston Villa look to win the Europa League on Wednesday as they take on Freiburg. Pards will be back next Sunday evening. But next up here on talkSPORT is one of the best shows on the network, the Trans-Europe Express. From me, Madge, and him, Pards.
It's a very, very good night.
Up to Wormley.